of $17 million and is worshipped by a huge following. Over $8 million has been awarded to Rusty Wallace, and his fan club is just as large. NASCAR is filled with stars who compete in front of millions of adoring spectators. But standing behind them is a legion of single-minded, dedicated workers, men and sometimes women, who understand the loneliness of the long watch, who appreciate, perhaps as no others, that no job is too small to be done well. For them, the tedium of exacting work must at times seem endless. Without them, there could be no race day, no victory, no loss, no glory. These are the people who make it all happen, who accept the challenge of quiet commitment so that others may stand in the light. TNN Motorsport proudly presents NASCAR Winston Cup Racing. From Rockingham, North Carolina, the AC-Delco 500. If the Winston Cup season is a war, this is one of its many battles. And Danny Lawrence is one of the foot soldiers preparing the Richard Childress-owned Chevrolet to race today. Sitting in that car, the field general for that team, Dale Earnhardt, the point leader. And with him, Glenn Jarrett.
Well, Mike, he's getting dressed, putting his helmet on right now. Dale, you're starting a little far back in the field, but that's really not that big a deal in a 500-mile race, is it?
It's not as far back as I have started before, so, you know, we were just happy to requalify and get on the front straightaway pit, so that was a big key factor for us, and, you know, we're racing to win, but we're also racing for that points battle, and Rusty's just up in front of us in the car ahead of us here, so we're going to have a good race today. You know, our car is working pretty good, and I feel good about it.
Well, this place, victory-wise, has not been that good to you, but you've had some good finishes here.
Well, we run good here, and that's the key. Do it today, that'd be another key.
He'll do it today. Ralph?
Tire specialist Brad Parrott checks one more time on the Goodyear tires to make sure that his driver, Rusty Wallace, has exactly what he needs. Now, Rusty, you brought a different car with you than the one you won here with in the spring. How come?
Well, I've had a lot of success with this particular car. It's we call it Midnight. I've won 6 races with it this year. I like it a lot, and I felt like it's a little quicker car than I had the first time.
Now, your championship rival, Earnhardt, starts just behind you. Are you going to spend much time looking in the rearview mirror, or do you just charge ahead?
Well, we got to charge ahead pretty smart. I'm going to try to get up there as quick as I can if the car is strong enough and lead some laps. I didn't take the lead here last time until about 260 laps in the race, but I was able to lead the most laps, and that's important.
Mike, maybe Midnight's enough to get a win today.
Well, maybe that and his pit crew, Ralph. Hi, everybody. Yesterday, Rusty Wallace's team won NASCAR's annual pit crew competition. Second win in that for crew chief Buddy Parrott and for the men behind him. So today, much of our coverage will focus not on the $1 million a year drivers, not on the $200,000 a year crew chiefs, but on the men who work behind them, the pit crews. Each team averages 13 crew members, and they travel at an average weekly on-the-road cost of over $8,000. The average front-running team has a payroll of $1 million, not counting the driver, the crew chief, and the team manager, and it costs about $200,000 a year to run those fellows around the country, those that travel with the teams and support those that run in the shop. For more on that, to my broadcast colleagues, Neil Bonnet and Buddy Baker. First, here's Neil.
We're always getting calls and letters at TNN. What does it take to get to be on a Winston Cup race team? Let me tell you what, it's not always glamorous. You're not the crew chief. You're not the top mechanic. I'm sitting there with Sean Wood, who works for Harry Gant. The sun's just coming up on race morning. Just what are we doing this morning?
I'm trying to get the lugs ready today. We'll probably have between 7 and 11 sets of tires today, and got to have all the lugs ready for all 11 sets.
What did you do initially to get to work on this team?
I initially started out just working for Leo in his race shop up there, and then he got Harry in '89 and asked me if I wanted to help on the race crew, and I've been doing that ever since.
Well, I tell you what, it's not always the fancy jobs, but you got to start at the bottom and work your way up to getting these Winston Cup teams. For more odd jobs in racing, let's go down to Buddy Baker.
One of the most important jobs in all of racing is the gas man. He must get every drop of fuel in this car every time it stops, because a lot of times a pint of fuel makes a difference in whether you win or lose. It's also one of the most dangerous jobs you can have. what in the world made you decide to be a gas man?
Probably just the pressure, buddy. Making sure that the car gets full. All the guys can depend on me to fill the car.
There's 40 guys out here, and every one of them wants to have a gas man just like this guy. It depends on whether you win or lose, what he does.
Well, from the folks over the wall to those who work behind the wall in the fabrication and the engine shops that answer the phone and make the hotel reservations, there may be as many as 30 people supporting each of these teams. TNN Motorsports exclusive live coverage of the AC-Delco 500 is brought to you by Haviland Formula 3 Motor Oil. Add more life to your car. By cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft and Miller Genuine Draft Light, taking the country by storm. By Goodyear, #1 in tires. And by Ford and your local Ford dealer. Ford Trucks, the best never rest. A jet flyover just accompanied the national anthem here at the North Carolina Motor Speedway. There are the crews lined up in their pit stalls for the ceremonies, and now back to the business of preparing to go racing. It's been a tough weekend for one of the Winston Cup teams. Settling into position, Ralph Shaheen with Kenny Wallace.
Timmy Wallace is busy cleaning the window so that his driver and cousin Kenny can charge through the field. How'd you end up back here?
Well, we had a little tire problems. There was a little bit of discrepancy in the tire rule, and it didn't go our way. But, you know, this is one of the first times I'm looking in my mirror. I don't see nobody behind me, so I'll be running as hard as I can today. It's coming down to the end of the season, and we need to take the team into the winter months with a good, positive attitude. So you look forward to the Dirt Devil Pontiac running good, I think.
Now up to the positive end of the grid, and Glenn Jarrett.
Well, you're looking at crewman James Ince. He's making final preparations, final air check on Mark Martin's tires, and Mark is sitting here impatiently waiting. He's ready to get this thing going. If you saw us yesterday, you saw Mark kill the field in the Busch race. It seems like when you win that Busch race, you come back and run awfully strong on Sunday.
We're pumped up and ready to go. I really can't wait. This car's been working good since we got here on Thursday, and you know, we're going to give them our best. And we'll get going here about 50 laps in. We'll know what we got and if we need to work on it or whatever.
Okay, best of luck to you today, Mark. Mark loves this racetrack. He runs well here. The last Winston Cup race was held at Charlotte, North Carolina 2 weeks ago. There, this car, starting from the outside of row 1, put forth a display of dominance rarely seen, as Mike Joy reports in today's Haviland Update.
Ernie Irvin tried to lull them to sleep at Charlotte 2 weeks ago, leading all but 6 laps en route to victory. But talk about living on the edge. Watch Mark Martin battling Dale Earnhardt for second. He loses it, catches it, loses it, catches it, loses it, and catches it once again. It was that kind of day for the Valvoline Ford. Watch him here as he fends off Dale Earnhardt and Rusty Wallace. In the end, it would be Earnhardt challenging Martin for second place in the race. But the Ford kept holding off the Chevrolet, while Irvin sped uncontested to victory. Martin held off Earnhardt, and at the bottom of your screen, Rusty Wallace. Since Dale led a lap and Rusty didn't, Earnhardt gains 10 points in the quest for the Winston Cup. Mark Martin solidly in third, ahead of Dale Jarrett and Morgan Shepherd. Then 6 through 10, Kyle Petty, Kenny Schrader, Ernie Irvin rising in the standings, then Bill Elliott and rookie Jeff Gordon.
Crew member Gary Beveridge making one final look at the rear spoiler of the Texaco Haviland Ford Thunderbird of driver Ernie Irvin, who sits strapped into his car. Ernie, this so far has been a season of streaks. Now you're on one, 2 in a row. Can you make it 3 here at Rockingham?
Well, it's not 2 in a row, but it's one, then a not win, then a win. So never have 1-2 before, but sure would like to with this Texaco Haviland Ford.
What we saw yesterday in the Busch race was a very slippery racetrack here at Rockingham and a brutal track. How will you attack this facility?
Well, you know, it's basically just the track's wore out. So, you know, Goodyear gives us a good tire, but it's just not going to stick to rocks. And, you know, we're just going to go out there and just slip and slide, and it's going to be whoever slips and slides the best is going to win this race.
Mike Ernie Irvin will start on the inside of row number 2.
Thanks, Ralph. We've got a Polaroid photo fake out for you this week again. It's about this car, and we're going to make it a little bit tougher than usual. We're going to show you a picture of a full-service pit stop. If you can tell us what's wrong with this picture, you could win a trip to the Daytona 500. Look closely. A few minutes ago, some non-ticket buying spectators visited North Carolina Motor Speedway. I don't think they landed that one on the drag strip across the street. There's Kyle Petty among those getting set to go to work here at Rockingham. Packed house. 41 cars ready to roll. There's Bill Elliott. And everything's running, so Sears Die-Hard battery, now with more power when you need it most, presents the starting grid for today's race. Mark Martin, 23rd career pole, 5th of the season. Kenny Schrader, 8th front row start this year. Ernie Irvin, who dominated at Charlotte, and Bill Elliott, a 3-time winner here. Row number 3, Ricky Rudd won at Michigan in June, and Kyle Petty's the defending champion of this race. Row 4, Jeff Gordon, runner-up at Charlotte and Michigan, and Morgan Shepherd, who won at Atlanta in March. In row 5, Harry Gantz led over 1,000 laps on this track, but he's never won here. And Dick Trickle has his best start all year. He's in the Larry Hedrick car. Brett Bodine, second at Darlington last month, and Bobby Labonte with 5 top 10 finishes. Rick Mast ran 5th at Bristol in August, and Joe Nemechek takes his second ride in the Kodak Morgan McClure Chevy. Row number 8, Jimmy Spencer starts to the inside, second at Talladega, and Darrell Waltrip, a 3-time winner of this race. Derek Cope and Rusty Wallace, who won here in February. Row 10, Jeff Bodine, who won at Sears Point, and Hut Strickland makes his 9th career start at Rockingham. Dale Jarrett, the Daytona 500 winner. Dale Earnhardt has only 1 win here in 30 appearances. Todd Bodine, his 9th start for Butch Mock, and Terry Labonte, who won here in 83. Sterling Marlin finished 5th here a year ago, and T.W. Taylor, the rookie out of the NASCAR Sportsman Speedway Series. Greg Sachs, former Daytona Firecracker winner, and Rick Wilson driving for King Richard. Mike Waltrip ran 4th here in 92, and Wally Dallenbach, the Watkins Glen runner-up. Lake Speed finished 2nd to Neil Bonnet here in 1988, and Ted Musgrave, who was 7th in the February race here. Mike Wallace makes his 3rd Winston Cup start of the season, and Dave Markin, 52nd race at Rockingham for Dave. Jimmy Horton, 2nd start since his Talladega Flyer, and Loy Allen Jr. Jimmy Means, 34th Rockingham appearance, and Bobby Hillen, former Talladega winner. John Andretti, the Indy 500 veteran, makes his 3rd Winston Cup start in a Billy Hagan car, and Jerry Hill, who's run both Rockingham races, and Kenny Wallace, as you heard, penalized for exceeding the tires to be used limit during practice and qualifying. He ends up at the back of the field with a provisional start. They'll take 2 pace laps. A look at the NASCAR weather radar. Nothing here. A few showers down in Georgia and off the coast. But nothing that will bother us today. Temperature will go in the 60s, we're told. Winds out of the east. Nice day for racing. Mark Martin leads the field around, and you'll be riding with him today. You'll see the roof cam pod mounted atop the roof of his Jack Roush Valvoline Ford. And we'll get 3 different views from Mark's car. There's the over-the-shoulder traditional race cam. And Mark's point of view is much like what you see from our roof cam, looking ahead at the Pontiac safety car. And you'll see if his foot's on the gas or not through our view of the foot cam. Mark accelerates off of and brakes going into the corners here. Also today, Morgan Shepherd in the Citgo Ford Thunderbird of the Wood Brothers of Stewart, Virginia. We'll be carrying onboard cameras showing you this over-the-shoulder shot from our race cam. And there's also a roof cam on Morgan Shepherd's automobile. And finally, the dog leaning out the window, getting fresh air cam, pointed backwards.
And his head knocked off if he's not careful.
On the door sill, yep. And with that, in 1 more lap, we'll be racing. Ford and Chevrolet on the front row. Since Ricky Rudd, they're starting 5th in the Tide Chevrolet. Since Rudd won at Michigan in June, only 4 drivers have been to victory lane. And you know who they are. 41 cars will start today's race on this track, which is just over a mile, 1.017 miles, so we'll run 492 laps today. Kyle Petty set the race record here last year. We'll have our 800 number in operation during today's race, so you can call in your questions to TNN about the running of this race. The call is free, and it's 800-451-7331. Stephanie and Sheila are in Nashville to take your questions and forward them on to us up here in the booth. Again, that's 1-800-451-7331 all this afternoon, toll free. We invite you to participate in today's telecast. From high above the North Carolina Motor Speedway, 2 by 2, they come down for the start. 492 laps.
Or dark, whichever comes first.
Can anybody besides Mark Martin, Dale Earnhardt, Rusty Wallace, and Ernie Irvan find victory lane? Turn 1, Martin with a car length lead. Good, clean start.
There's Ernie Irvan moving into second there.
Ford and 2 Chevys. A little bit of 3 wide in the back straightaway, but clean into turn 3. Across the stripe, Irvan wants the lead.
Neil, that car really handles down the straightaway, don't it?
Yeah, when you can pass them up that straightaway, it makes it a lot easier. After we saw the 28 car at Charlotte, I think everybody was saying, maybe somebody could race him here, but here he goes, jumping right out front again.
Riding with now second place Mark Martin.
He's fixing to be now third, because he's getting caught on the high side up there, Mike. It's going to be fourth before he gets off that corner. If you move up, there's going to be several cars go under.
2 Chevrolets drag past him. Earnhardt has passed Rusty Wallace in the battle for the Winston Cup. They're back at 18th position.
Both of these guys want to get up front at all possible, but they've got to use some caution getting there, and that's hard to do on this racetrack.
Battling Darrell Waltrip and Hut Strickland up high. A lot of traffic.
You know, Mike, we heard him talking about the slipping and sliding. That's what it's going to amount to today. The track's got a lot of wear on it. The tires are as good as they can get them, but they just can't get a hold of the track like they want to. After they get some laps on them, it's a pretty good handful.
Now, these 2 cars lead the point chase, but Mark Martin is not mathematically out of the chase for the Winston Cup, nor is Dale Jarrett, though that part of this could be decided today.
You see Rusty Wallace, he's just kind of stalking Earnhardt right now. What he wants to do is just keep him in sight and let him open up the holes there and not get himself into a lot of trouble right now.
Yeah, you know, buddy, we heard both of them say they're going to try to take it easy. Well, directly in front of them, there were 3 abreast going in that first turn, and I'm sure they're getting excited. They don't need any accidents directly in front of them.
5 green laps so far. Ernie Irvan with a 5-car length lead. We're back deep in the pack. Back about 16th position.
That's Joe Nemechek driving the 4-car, the Kodak car this week.
Jimmy Hensley will drive that at Phoenix and Atlanta, since this is Joe's 5th Winston Cup start, and he doesn't want to lose his rookie eligibility. Wallace underneath the pass. Here comes rookie Bobby Labonte now, the Maxwell House Ford. Right behind Rusty. They pull up on Derek Cope. Cale Yarborough Bojangles Ford.
Seems like Rusty's content to sit there and let Earnhardt open the door on these passes, and then whenever Earnhardt gets up, go along with him. Just keep him right in sight. There's Earnhardt trying to go the inside of Cope. Cope makes a good run down there. Can't make that move.
And Wallace settles right in on Earnhardt's bumper again.
You know, everybody's out there running on virtually fresh tires right now, and about 10, 12 laps from now, you'll start seeing them using more racetrack. And boy,
Loy Allen used a lot of racetrack right there and got the wall. I wonder if he cut down a tire or something went wrong.
It looked like he just broke loose. I don't know if he had a tire problem or what. When Kenny Wallace got close and loosened him up, it looked like.
When these radials break loose, you can count on getting another bite after they slide a little bit. And what happened there, he corrected, and it took the second set and went right straight up the racetrack.
Well, we were there watching Kenny Wallace's progress from provisional starting spot 41 as he got alongside Loy Allen Jr. making his second Winston Cup start. Trouble with Allen's car into the wall, and it looks like done for the day. We are under the first caution at lap number 9. Ken Schrader leading Mark Martin, or Ernie Irvin leading Schrader, Martin, Rudd, and Elliott. Welcome back to Rockingham, where they're doing a little bit of cleanup, picking up a couple pieces of debris down the front straightaway, so we'll stay under caution for a lap or two as they hook up to Loy Allen's car. Let's show you several different angles of what happened between he and Kenny Wallace.
Okay, you see Kenny under Loy Allen there. When they start in, I don't think he knows Kenny's there. They make just a little contact. See the back end wiggle just a little bit there? Well, I can't say that he actually touched him. It looked like he just went in there real hard to keep him from getting under and lost the back end of the car. Okay, he's in real trouble. See it weaving back and forth there? Now he's got the wheels cut. Now watch when he tries to straighten it up here. He turns the wheels to the right and it shoots right straight back up the racetrack. Okay, it's just about to take a set now to really get him a shot towards that wall. There you go.
Will this be in the new Buck Baker Driving School video of
what not to do?
What not to do, right there, yeah.
Maybe that part.
Boy, when it took that second bite, nobody can tell you what that feels like. You go, oh, no.
You see the car wiggling like Buddy's talking about. The natural instinct is turn to the right to correct the slide, and then all of a sudden the right front end takes a bite and just goes directly right.
Show you one more look at it.
There he's headed up. Ooh. And, you know, he still thought he had a chance to get the car back because he never locked the brakes up until he got 20 foot away. Once it makes that last right turn, you can forget everything else. The brake pedal is a proper piece of equipment to use at that time.
So it's the first caution of the day, and it comes out for Loy Allen. Questions on our 800 line already. 451-7331, 1-800. That's the toll-free number. And let me clear up one from our last race at Dover. The Miller commercial where Rusty Wallace, the question was, did he do his own driving in that? And when Rusty were on that cruise this January, he described how they did the commercial. I thought he was telling us how he drove, but he told his fan club in a newsletter that they did use a stunt driver. And a couple of the fan club members wrote in to correct us on that.
He's had enough happen this year. He didn't need to blow a racetrack up.
That's true. From Canada, Robin, who's won the most races other than Richard Petty? David Pearson, 105 career victories. We'll be right back to Rockingham after this. In one lap, we'll go racing here at Rockingham. Let's quickly go down to the garage area. Here's Ralph.
Lloyd, what happened out there?
Really, what happened early in the race, I really just didn't wait for the tires to come in. Got the car a little bit loose going in 3 and just lost it. Rookie deal, and, you know, I'll learn next time and just get a little better.
Big man to admit his mistake.
Loy Allen, who is the first car out of this race. Yesterday, the Pit Crew Challenge here at Rockingham. Buddy Parrott won it for the second time. He won in 1983. Those are the drivers of the cars involved in the annual championship that you'll see tape played on TNN.
Mike, they might see these numbers and wonder why 20-something seconds. They do a little bit different than they do on pit stops. They have to wait to come over that wall for these contests.
There's our 800 line, 1-800-451-7331 for your questions. The fellows who did the work: Jackman Scott Robinson, front tire changer Bill Wilburn, right tire changer, rear changer Brad Parrott, Paul Vanderellen loosened the left lug nuts. Todd Parrott carried the tires. Earl Barben and Rocky Owenby handled gas, and our congratulations to them with a new record. Ernie Irvin on the restart, holding Kenny Schrader to second. Mark Martin at third, Ricky Rudd in fourth, Bill Elliott is fifth. Sixth is Morgan Shepherd, seventh Kyle Petty, eighth is Jeff Gordon as we go back to green. Ninth, the Bandit, Harry Gant, and 10th, Brett Bodine.
Ooh, that car of Mark Martin's is sticking right on the bottom of the white line there. He's really working well, and the tires have come in now. Watch him close up on Kenny going in the corner here.
Look at Schrader's car. Boy, not only him, makes you wonder if there's something on the track down there. You saw the 28 get loose, go high, and also the 25 did the same thing.
Kyle Petty and Dale Jarrett also went up high. Anybody that went into that corner, and we're getting caution for that reason, anybody that went into the corner in the high groove ended up way up there. For the lead, Schrader to the stripe, Irvin.
They had about 4 cars behind the leader, Mike, that nearly knocked. You see the oil going in, like Buddy's talking about, right in that second lane, oil all in that corner.
I'm telling you what, now that's a bad feeling when you get in that.
Ernie Irvin has led 6 of 7 races since joining the Robert Yates team.
Somebody asked me what it was like to hit an oil patch on a racetrack. I said, it's like turning in your driveway at home at 80 miles an hour and somebody put a fresh load of sand in it.
Yeah, just doesn't want to make the curve. Irvin really raced hard to hold Schrader back there in second to lead this race.
Since Ricky Rudd won Michigan in June, Bernhardt, Wallace, Irvin, and Martin have been the only drivers to win in Winston Cup competition. Between them, the 4 drivers have won 21 of 27 races. Let's show you a replay of the restart and watch the top of the screen here. Watch Irvin as he goes off into the corner. There's that slick of oil.
Yep.
And there we go.
You know, when you see this right here, nobody's went in the pits. It makes you wonder who put it down. They're still all out there. I saw Hutch Strickland's car's got a big piece of metal stuck through the grill of his car. I don't know if it busted his oil cooler, but somebody has got to be doing it. And there's not a car left the racetrack yet. If that's the case, they're still putting oil all the way around.
Dave Marcus will pit, as will Rick Wilson. And there is what Neil was talking about.
Wow.
Oh, that's the duct
headlight door and the duct.
Yeah, that left front, that's where the oil cooler is. I don't know if he's the guy that has the problem with the oil or who, but somebody's got to be putting a lot of oil on this racetrack. And the car left the track since I saw that going in turn 1. I don't see any oil coming out.
We're corrected. Dave Marcus and Rick Wilson pitted just before going back to green.
Okay.
And that's a favorite ploy of Marcus, to top off the tank so that if everybody has to stop under green, he gets to lead a few laps. And that pays off at the end of the season. Those 5-point bonuses add up.
I still haven't seen anyone come down pit road.
No.
And, you know, very seldom, you might see one of these cars be overfilled with oil in the first race and smoke a little bit. Very, very seldom you see it unload a load of oil like that going in a corner. It might not show up now, but it's going to show up in a few minutes if somebody's losing that much.
So we're under caution here for the first time today at lap number 19. Riding with Mark Martin, the 3rd place car, after a great battle with Joe Bessie. Yesterday, he won the 200-mile Busch Grand National race. Joe Bessie and Ward Burton.
Like we were questioning where the oil came from, they're going to bring every car down pit road so the inspectors can look under each car and decide which one it is putting the oil down. Then they'll black flag them. Because right now the question is, where did it come from? You don't see this very often, but they're going to make them come by slow speed. All the inspectors are down on their knees on pit road looking under these cars.
Well, that's kind of funny, Neil, because usually one driver would report he's getting oil on the windshield from the car in front of him.
Yeah, they usually report that they are not. They say the guy in front of me is leaking oil, get him out of my way.
Right.
But they're taking a serious look. All the inspectors are checking.
Well, I'm looking at the back of all the cars when they come by here, and I don't see any oil on the back. Usually you can pick it up that way. I don't see any debris on the back of any of the cars so far.
Strickland's car we see there in the shot's the only one I've seen with any kind of damage, and it's that front grill area. The oil cooler is mounted directly behind that for those screens. That's what it's for. But I don't see any oil coming out of this car.
And neither so far do the NASCAR inspectors. The fastest 26 cars in this field are pitted on the front stretch. The balance of the field is on the back straightaway. But as yet no indication as to who might be the culprit.
That might have been somebody's little oil can they were saving for the end of the race for a caution. When they threw it out the window earlier.
Oh, come on. We talked with a number of the mechanics on the Winston Cup teams. We asked Jeff Stouser what his goals are with Rusty Wallace's team.
Well, my goals are to stay with Rusty, and, you know, I want to kind of broaden my capabilities with the team. You know, I want to get more into the fabricating end of it as far as the building of the cars. And also, and being here at the racetrack, you know, I'm learning more and more about the cars and, you know, how the car is functioning because, you know, there's so much technology in these cars today. Winston years ago.
Exclusive live coverage of the AC-Delco 500 on the Nashville Network is brought to you by Napa, because there are no unimportant parts. Well, here's the start-finish line where Ernie Irvin led the race back to, and that is where NASCAR determines whether or not you get a lap back. But as far as who leads a given lap, that's determined by the NASCAR scorers in this building at the bottom of your screen just inside of turn 4. And that white line just in front of the scoring stand is where they determine who leads each lap. So at lap 17, as they race back to caution, Kenny Schrader led that lap officially per NASCAR scoring. Now, if he had been battling Ernie Irvin to get back on the lead lap, that call would have been made down at the start-finish line by the NASCAR officials in the tower. There's the time, Neil.
If you look directly in front of that building, that grassy area, that is the clock, right directly in front of the building. They look at that line, they see the clock, they write the time down. It's on that clock. So it's done just like Mike said up there on turn 4.
Here's your top 10 at 23 of 492 laps. 40 cars are on the lead lap. Glenn?
Well, Mike, I checked with one of the NASCAR officials after they brought the cars down pit road to see if they'd found anything. They said no. They thought, as we did, it might have been Hut Strickland because of that damage up there. They asked my brother Dale, who's been running behind Hut, if there was oil coming out. He said, no, he's clean too. I'm standing in the Rusty Wallace pit, and Buddy Parrott leaned over and told me, he said, you know, I'm pretty sure that oil's probably coming from that 3 car. Ralph?
Glenn, you know, it's pretty amazing that you should say so, because the GM Goodwrench crew down here at the opposite end of the pits was absolutely emphatically certain that it is the Penske Pontiac that is leaking the oil.
Yeah, and Dale could tell that in his rearview mirror. Yeah. Tell me there's not a little gamesmanship goes on here. Right now, Earnhardt is running back about 14th and Wallace 15th, unofficially.
You know, as this points battle comes down, Mike, it's amazing. But every week, every track we go to, these two guys either win first and second, or 9th and 10th, or 21st and 22nd. They just can't get away from each other.
There are now 33 guys, all drivers, all calling in on the radio saying, it's the car in front of me.
Yeah, make them move.
Right. We'll get a restart this time. Turn 1 is cleaned up.
Whoever put that oil down, we'll find out here in just a few minutes. I don't know how long it takes for a motor to blow when it loses a lot of oil, but then it's going to show up.
Neil, you're correct. I'll tell you, with that much oil letting out, it won't be long before we know which one it is.
There is no gauge to measure how much oil is left in the engine, but an oil pressure gauge to show that what's in there is circulating. Through the Speedy Dry down at turn 1, you see Speedy Dry coming up off the tires of Schrader's car. Back straightaway, and Ernie Irvin has legged it out, high gear.
He's Speedy Dry away from him when that thing comes out.
I hate to say this, but I think I see a little bit of oil down in the bottom lane there off of some car just a few seconds ago.
Well, we'll see in a second.
Yes, down there.
Yeah, there goes Mark Martin way up the racetrack, and he saves it. And Kyle Petty. And Earnhardt. And a bumper cover just flew off one of the cars at turn 2. We're going to race back to the caution again, perhaps.
No caution yet.
Yes,
there it is. There it is.
There's a new oil line all the way around. So like Buddy said, somebody is still putting it down. And that's a case of it doesn't do it except at high RPM.
There's a report that it might be Harry Gant's car that's doing this.
Well, the funny thing is the oil went down while we were under caution, not under green.
They say it's the rear end grease. It might be a pump. You know, when he really gets after it, it pumps a little harder and throws a little extra grease out.
Let's show you once again what happened down here in turn 1. Watch Earnhardt's car.
You see the oil line right behind Gant. He's right in there behind Gant.
Look at where Kyle Petty is up in the top groove. He's about to go for a ride here.
Well, it's going to be a combination of oil and somebody hitting on that left rear quarter, it looks like.
There's Dick Trickle.
Yeah,
just ahead of Kyle.
The car in the bottom got in the oil, slid up, hit Kyle, and sent Kyle flying.
That's Jimmy Spencer.
Yeah, there comes Earnhardt in behind. Runs into the back of the 1 car, it looks like. Goes sailing up the track. Rusty's going low.
There's that bumper cover.
Spencer's bumper cover, the 12 car does not have the bumper cover anymore, so it's him.
Everybody was able to recover.
It wasn't only that group we were watching. The leader, the 28 car, almost wrecked. The first 4 guys through went all over the track.
There's the damage we were talking about on the back of Jimmy Spencer's car there. You can see the rear bumper part of it's missing.
Second caution of the day. NASCAR's going to have to sort this out. Third caution, excuse me. And we'll be right back to Rockingham after this. At Pinehurst, North Carolina, nearby, the World Golf Hall of Fame and some of the world's best golf courses. And beautiful scenery. Not far from the North Carolina Motor Speedway, just north of Rockingham. T.W. Taylor was called into the pits for consultation and a look to see if indeed he was the car dropping fluid, but they've sent him back out on the racetrack.
This is a big case of whodunit.
Let's try to get a word with Mark Martin, see what he went through up there. Neil?
Mark, this is Neil Bonnet with TNN. Can you hear us?
Hey, Neil.
I tell you what, man, you took a wild ride. Somebody's putting that oil down, and they can't seem to find out who it is. It must be pretty tough.
Yeah, I thought we had it under control after we got by the first time and got through without crashing, but then, you know, they restarted the thing, and there was a shiny stripe going into one again, and we almost wrecked again. So maybe we can get this thing figured out and get some racing done here pretty soon.
Yeah, they're showing right now, Mark, you going in the bottom. You did a good job. That thing right up at the wall and that loose stuff. They're pulling in the car one after another. Now, hopefully they can find that thing for you guys.
It's going to be all right here in a minute. We get strung out here and get running. Just somebody's losing some oil or some water that we can't, NASCAR can't figure out who it is.
All right, Mark, good luck.
Thank you.
Sammy.
So we're under caution here. Third time today, 2 for oil on the track, and the first caution for Loy Allen, the only car out of the race. We're going to take another lap under yellow here and have another look, because when the cars came straight down pit road where the track is flat, nobody dumped any oil. But when they go into turn 1 where the track is banked, that's where apparently somebody is leaking, and there's a NASCAR inspector down there now to have a look.
Yeah, Mike, there could be another side of that too. Oil pressure. When these things are idling and running at this speed here, they're running about 50 to 60 pounds of oil pressure. At 8,000 or 8,800 RPM, they're running 80 to 90 pounds of oil pressure, and that leak will develop into one of them oil lines if it's something loose or they've got some other type of problem. So it might be something that won't show up until they're at full speed. What these engine guys like to have is 10 pounds of pressure per 1,000 RPM. Just turning 7,000, they want 70. If you turn it 8, they want 80 pounds. So the more you turn it, the more pressure you get.
There's a congratulatory wish there on the dashboard of Mark Martin's car for one of his buddies.
Sammy Kershaw and his wife have a little baby.
Emily. So welcome, Emily, to Winston Cup Racing. Mark, of course, appeared in one of Sammy's videos, as did that race car not too long ago.
That's pretty neat, isn't it?
Yeah.
This could be a new video.
Well, let's see. Let's see first if it has a happy ending. We're going back to green.
Then the drivers go down in turn 1 and say, will it turn?
32 laps, let's find out. Mark Martin on that last restart slid from 3rd back to 5th. So Ricky Rudd's the new 3rd place car. Here comes Earnhardt flying up the outside around Kyle Petty. Picks off 2, goes after Dick Trickle as they go to turn 3. You're with Mark Martin, the 5th place car, and here comes Earnhardt, 10th.
Well, this is when it's going to be critical, going back in turn 1. Did they put it down again? I think I see the 3rd stripe down there.
Irvin takes it in hard and deep and squirrely hangs on to it. They swirled it around a little there, Neil.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm sure these guys aren't sure yet if they've got clean running. Speaking of clean, they're going to allow one more man over pit wall on the caution to clean these windshields from all this oil early in the race.
Late in the day, you'll see the effect that has when the sun gets low over turn 1. Earnhardt racing Brett Bodine in the quicker state Ford.
One thing about Earnhardt, I know he's running for the championship and all, but he drives one way, wide open. He's fun to watch, isn't he?
Yeah, he's tiptoeing through the oil.
Yeah, you got it.
Earnhardt is in 9th. Rusty Wallace is 13th. Mark Martin, 3rd in the points, is 5th in this race.
It doesn't seem like they have that problem with that oil like they've been having.
I can tell everybody it's not Harry Gant that's losing the oil because he's running a lane higher than everybody else.
Yeah,
so it couldn't be him.
Nobody's driven where Harry's going.
Yeah, you're running Harry's oil after you've already wrecked.
Yeah, on the way back down.
Yeah.
There's that pack. There's Wallace, 13th place. Didn't quite get as good a restart as did Earnhardt. See Gant way up high.
Yep, old Harry Gant groove is coming back. If this track gets slick today, as a lot of drivers are talking about, they're going to be playing Harry's game at Rockingham. He'll get up there in that top, he'll wear them out.
Jimmy Spencer underneath Dick Trickle. Trickle had his best start of the year in the Mannheim auction Chevy. Now Rusty closing in. This will be for 12th place.
Yeah, what they're probably doing is trying to avoid that oil. I'm sure that's why Harry Gant's moving up in the racetrack here. There was a ring of oil around the bottom of the racetrack.
Yeah, there's a lot of drivers just don't like to use that part of the track. Harry does not hesitate to get up there.
Just don't bother Earnhardt, though. He runs wherever he can catch it.
Takes the low side on Jeff Gordon. 7th place at stake here.
Gordon making a good run on the high side of the racetrack. Earnhardt gets under him right here. Looks like he's got him enough this time. He can pull back up in front of him off this corner, but Gordon stayed right with him through turn 1 and 2.
Make that for 8th place. Earnhardt's through. Hale moves up on Morgan Shepherd. Up front, Irvin has a 4-car length lead on Kenny Schrader, and they have 10 car lengths on Ricky Rudd in 3rd. Then it's Bill Elliott, Mark Martin, Harry Gant in 6th. Morgan Shepherd is 7th. There's the lead differential.
Schrader actually seems to be cutting it down some, Mike. You know, Buddy, just a few laps ago, looked like the 28 car had more than this on him.
Oh, yeah. One thing about Kenny Schrader, he runs the car really hard down in the corner, and right now the racetrack's good for that. Now, when it gets a little slicker, he may have to work on the car a little bit, but he's flying right now.
Here we're on Morgan Shepherd's car, the Citgo car. Morgan working the bottom line, slides right up that outside wall. Look at this big dog leg in this front straightaway. Big bow going down in turn 1. Easiest entry here. Big wide entry. Oh, he's sliding up high right up off the corner there.
Shepherd celebrates a birthday this week. He'll be 52, won up at Atlanta this spring.
Boy, this is shades of a week or so ago. We'll see Ernie Irvin out there just kind of strolling along. The car looks like it never slipped. Right around the bottom of the racetrack.
Super handling down both straightaways.
Oh, yeah. They make some horsepower in that car.
We get a lot of views today from our Ray Vestas aerial coverage. Ray Vestas, Best in Brakes, bringing you these pictures, helicopter mounted, chasing around the Speedway. Battle for 3rd, Bill Elliott. Showing some muscle in the Budweiser Ford of Junior Johnson, pulling up on Ricky Rudd. There's Harry Gant closing in, and Mark Martin.
You know, when you see Elliott's car, you just keep waiting for him to break out of it and win races. He's been so good in anything he's ever driven, and this is a good racetrack for him. You just keep waiting for him to break out and win.
Winless this year. Can't remember the last time a Junior Johnson car went this deep into the season without a win.
I'm looking at Harry Gant. They paved that upper part of this racetrack just for him.
Well, let me tell you what, when he gets to these 3 guys here, they're not going to be in his way.
No.
They're down there running around the bottom. Now watch Harry. He'll run off that top side, and watch what a run he gets from running high. He has so much momentum built up, he just drove right under the 6 car. He'll probably take it high on the outside here. He could care less about that bottom side. And watch the run he gets. When he goes high, he gets so much momentum, he'll jump on him off that corner.
3 wide, will he do it? Yes.
Harry says, man, they're up in my groove.
Yeah, Ricky Rudd got up there for a minute, and here comes Mark Martin on the bottom.
Look, up we have a spin down in turn 3.
3 cars are in it, 1 car way down to the bottom of the track apron.
15 car, looked like the 15 spun off the apron, yep. Lake speed.
And that'll bring out caution number 4.
He did lose a lap. The leaders just went by him.
And there's Irvin back to the line.
That's going to upset Gant. He was just getting his momentum going up there.
Yes. Martha from Texas called in, wanted to know how points are determined when somebody is down a lap or laps. Makes no difference. It's where you finish in the race where you get your points, not how many laps you complete.
With the 15 car here, he's trying to... He did lose that lap. He's going to get back up there in front. He had to pit, so he's going to get around the front side.
Eric wants to know what happens if the championship is tied. I think the tie is broken by who has the most wins.
Most wins.
And if you're tied there, it's who has the most second places. And if you have to go down to who has the most 38th places, that's what they'll do. But there will not be co-champions.
See what we learn every week, Neil.
Kyle Petty?
Yeah.
Well, the leaders, a bunch
Everybody's
of leaders.
coming in.
Here was seeing Kyle coming. I thought Kyle was turning down, but looks like all the leaders coming in now.
A bunch of cars deeper on the lead lap, of course, pitted on the backside. See how many of them stay out here. Chassis adjustment on the right rear for Ernie Irvin. Four tires for Ken Schrader.
Boy, oh boy. That 2-car beat the 3-car out just then. Earnhardt come in first, but he went out behind the 2-car. I tell you, Buddy Parrott and him have really made a difference in Rusty Wallace's positions this year.
Backstretch pits.
I don't think there was any shock when they won the victory race yesterday, because just week in and week out, that 2-car, they tear them up on pit road.
They had to push start Dick Trickle. They got him going again there in the Mannheim car. Wallace's stop 18.8 seconds. Earnhardt's 20.1 seconds, 2.3. 1.3 rather than the difference. And you'll see the difference when you see how they line up on the racetrack. One spot apart. Jeff Bodine now peels off to make his stop on the backstretch pit side.
Yeah, that spin put him a lap down, so he had to wait an extra lap. The 15 car going in a lap later.
Now, there's a lot of questions about whether Ernie Irvin took his points that he earned in the 4-car to the 28 team. Really, there's two different sets of point standings.
Exactly. He gets the driver's part, he takes that with him, but the car owner points, they stay with the particular car.
So Ernie Irvin, or rather Lake Speed went back. That's not Jeff Bodine, excuse me. Speed in the 15 car. We'll show you again what happened to Lake Speed up there.
That's kind of the tail end there. I think he lost control going in the corner there. Nobody else was involved with it.
We've already seen one car earlier lose the rear end, get down in turn 3. Get in there real hard with loose, it's going to come around.
To follow up, Ernie keeps the points he earned in the 4-car and whatever points he earns in the 28-car in his bid to be the Winston Cup champion. Robert Yates, as car owner in the NASCAR car owner points, he keeps all the points Davey Allison earned in the 28-car and the points that Ernie Irvin earns in the 28-car. And the car owner points count toward things like winner's circle, car owner bonus plans, things like that. Driver points, of course, count toward the Winston Cup. So the points do not transfer from car owner to car owner. And a driver, however, does take with him the points he earns. So Dick Trickle and Jimmy Hensley will have points in about 80 different cars, but they all add up toward the end of the season.
By the way, I think Jimmy Hensley will be a fine select to put in the 4-car. I think he'll do quite well at Phoenix. He runs well on flat track.
Run good out there, I'm sure, buddy.
Yep. Now here's one. There's Rusty Wallace just ahead of Dale Earnhardt as they came off pit road, and we're going to get a restart here. 48 laps complete of 492. Lake Speed will try to get back on the lead lap from Ernie Irvin as they come down to the stripe. Nobody's touching Ernie Irvin on restarts today.
I tell you, he had a good pit stop. Look at Bill Elliott right there in second place. They got him in and out of there.
I was just fixing to say, to make up a lap on that 28 car, you'd have to get up early in the morning.
Good indication of the kind of power you deal with that 28. As you go up through the gears, that's not a whole lot of handling. And as that thing accelerates up through the gears, look, he pulls a 5 or 6 car lengths as he goes up through the gears, so plenty of power.
See Bill Elliott there just by Schrader. There's Schrader up under him.
Schrader and
Ford scoot down the straightaway.
Schrader in the Kodiak car, Mark Martin right behind him.
Ooh, they're getting close right here. Looks like they might have touched just a little bit.
Cosmetic contact, if any.
Yeah, it might have just been real close. That outside lane's hard to work. Elliott's doing a good job seeing where he's at with that. He's trying to hold off Mark Martin down.
They're losing ground to leader Ernie Irvin, 1.7 seconds back of Irvin.
Look at Bill driving right up, trying to go right on by Schrader again. Drive down the outside of somebody like that, you're just kind of saying, boy, I hope this thing sticks.
Look who's right behind him down on the bottom. Here again.
What he probably did is adjust the chassis to get back on the bottom. You know, a lot of people add bite when they stop in or wedge in the car, and that tightens the car up some, and you're able to run down on the bottom part of the racetrack.
Schrader and Lake Speed now side by side. Mark Martin moves up. Elliott's going to have to look to the low groove to get underneath the lap car of Lake Speed.
There comes Mark. He's wanting to get around this lap car. Looking back in the car, wiggling around on the 15. He said earlier it was a little bit loose. Boy, look again. He had the back end hung out. There's the 2 car and the 3 going at it.
Earnhardt's going to try up high.
And he's going to try. There's the 3 car going to try to pass the 33 on the outside. 33 usually uses most of that outside.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to get on outside of him. You'd end up in Charlotte.
There's where Earnhardt's come since the start of the race. From 16th at 10 laps to 7th right now.
And Lake speeds up there going, man, I'd like to be in that bottom lane right now. He's losing position after position there.
There's Rusty making the pass. Along with Ricky Rudd coming out of 15th, the lap car.
And Earnhardt taking a run at Harry Gant. 4th place.
There goes Earnhardt up under Harry Gant's car, and right behind him is Rusty. Rusty seems to be playing checkers Earnhardt style right now. He's just watching every move he makes and just stays with him.
So with Wallace now in 5th, being Earnhardt's shadow, you ride with Morgan Shepherd at 56 laps. Ernie Irvin leading Schrader, Martin, Elliott, and Earnhardt. Even between pit stops, there's lots to do as the teams line up at the Unical pumps for some fresh, 108 octane?
Yeah, and I'll tell you what they do. They maintain that exactly the same because they jet these engines so close.
Same fuel is used at all the Winston Cup races.
Same octane, keep it just exactly the same every track.
Yeah, and they take how much gas they put in that can so they'll know exactly what kind of gas mileage they're getting also.
And here's Harry Gant. He's getting position mileage. Down to bottom, sweeps back up the top.
He's the only guy here that really runs 520 miles in a 500-mile race.
He ran about 240 yesterday in the 200-mile by working the top through.
A lot of guys' cars will go away from them, and they'll have to chase it up there. Gant goes up there, and then there's no place left to chase. He just uses that part of the track. Here in Dover, Delaware, he's done it a lot.
Harry Gant has led over 1,000 laps here in Winston Cup competition, but he's never won yet.
I know one time he was real close.
Yes.
I beat him by 6 inches, and I thought that was close as I've ever had one.
There goes Gant. Right up the side of Earnhardt there. That outside groove's really fast right now.
It is for Harry Gant.
And I'll tell you what, just like when somebody's doing that, Gant was doing that, and the guys he's racing with has to give him that room out there coming off that corner. They say, well, we know he's coming. You got to give him a car length out there to work with.
Here's your Napa Field standing update where your favorite driver's running.
Up.
Oh, boy. Bobby Hillen and Greg Sachs.
Coming off turn 2.
5th caution of the day.
Gant said, just about the time I get this thing rolling around the caution. And speaking of rolling, this guy was checked out. 28 car was gone.
Ernie Irvin has now led 390 of the last 397 laps in NASCAR racing. Give or take a lap.
There'll be a lot of damage on both those cars on the nose section there on Bobby Hillen's car, and there's Greg Sachs' car all eat up. Looks like a bulldog bit right front on it.
I tell you what, the 28
needs to be reupholstered there. I think that front corner of the furniture car.
Oh my!
I know.
Oh.
There's Hillen moving around in there.
You know how many?
Go ahead, tell the
No, no.
You got something in mind.
It was worse.
We're gonna give demerit points today for these little comments, Mike.
Can't get the thing recranked.
Everybody's coming to pit road.
Looks like mass confusion, but it's kind of controlled mass confusion.
It really is. Every player knows just where he has to go, what job he has to do. Keep an eye out for traffic and get the job done. Earnhardt's car is moving away quickly.
Well, he's moving away quickly, Mike, but he's up on the very top end of pit road. That's one of the penalties he pays for that bad qualifying effort.
Oh, man, look at this. we almost had a wreck right there.
Yeah, he and Rusty were side by side as Rusty came out and will fall in line behind Dale.
Well, they're not through yet. They still could wreck. Look at the tires and stuff. It's amazing to me that when you come in and out, there are more people run over and bounce off of people.
.2-second pit stop for Ernie Irvan, 18.9 for Rusty Wallace. We'll be right back. TNN Motorsports exclusive presentation of the AC-Delco 500 is brought to you by Ford and your Ford truck dealer. Ford Trucks, the best never rest.
This is a standard Winston Cup 4-speed transmission. Crew member Joey Knuckles on the Texaco number 28 car has been working intensely on their transmission setup. He has found some tricks that are really helping Ernie Irvan get these rocket starts that we're seeing. Those rocket starts are keeping them out front and making the difference in the last few races.
I don't doubt the transmission is good, but when you mash the throttle on that 28, an automatic transmission will get a pretty good start in it.
And that transmission don't jerk the front wheels off the ground.
I wouldn't think so.
We're going green. Lap 71, green flag is back out. Mike Wallace down to the inside, the Duron Paints FPP brakes for it. And look at Ernie Irvan already out there well in front of Mark Martin. Call it 5 car lengths out of turn 2.
I tell you what, if that transmission's making that much difference, Joey Knuckles can sell a bunch of them.
Yes. Horse, power, and gear.
You're talking how many laps the 28 had already led, Mike? He'll be the first guy to go in the penalty box for stinking up races. If he keeps this up. Once he gets in the lead, he checks out.
Look at Earnhardt, how close he is up under Schrader there. You talk about taking the air off the spoiler now. It's about as close as you can come to taking it off.
There couldn't have been any air left there. And there's Rusty Wallace watching.
Yeah, he's been Earnhardt's shadow all day. Here's a look at Kyle Petty battling Harry Gant. This is back at 8th place. And Jimmy Spencer right in there.
Well, you know, Rusty used his head there. Who else better would you want to work through traffic? The guy that might have to take the chance to clear it out for him.
Now Earnhardt has passed Schrader.
Rusty's car seems good enough earlier that he can get down there with him. And there he goes. Right in that bottom lane.
And there he goes. Right up.
Yeah, he couldn't quite get up under Schrader.
Schrader's car looks like he might have just a little bit of push because he jumped right out to the outside lane there. And the 2 car was able to get up to the door, but that was about it.
But on both of these teams, the 2 car we're looking at here, Rusty Wallace, Earnhardt, and all these guys, they're going with more gear than you would think people would go with in championship runs. They said, hey, to win the championship now, you got to run hard. So pulling a lot of gear in both these cars.
You see Bill Elliott after that pit stop, he made some adjustments on the chassis, and he looks like he's really running well right now, too.
Now, conventional wisdom. The last couple of months of this season have seen the guys who like to drive loose race cars, Wallace, Earnhardt, Martin, and Irvan, be the guys in victory lane. But here, you got Bill Elliott right up there with him, and Elliott is not considered such a loose car driver.
I got to tell everybody that he's a lot better race car driver than this showed up lately. I tell you, it's all, right now, it's just a combination that's not working. It's certainly not Bill Elliott or not Junior Johnson's team. It's just something that has to mesh and get together.
Well, I think one thing you run into, Mike, when you're talking about there's some guys who are known just to manhandle a car when it's loose. Somebody like Elliott that's got a lot of finesse, how he works the throttle. What happens when you have to manhandle it, the tires go away. You can't get a grip on the track. Somebody like Bill can ease along, work the throttle easy, not spin the tires, and he can kind of fight the problem in a different manner and still come out up front.
Speaking of finesse, look at Harry Gant. He's wanting to get back up there again in that high line. If he does, he'll start manhandling just exactly what you're talking about. Now, he can drive one sideways or any other way.
Well, no wonder he's mad. Somebody else is up there in his place.
There goes
There's Rusty up there running his groove.
Tell you, Bill Elliott's car is really handling well on the bottom of the racetrack. You see him going by Rusty Wallace, or trying to.
Well, I think they're finding something from that top lane. We saw in that shot earlier how much momentum they get right there coming off the corner. But look at Elliott, and I'm telling you, that thing ain't no slouch up off that corner.
And there comes Mr. Excitement into a shot there. Jimmy Spencer in the 92 car.
Bumperless, number 12. He lost it earlier.
5th place.
To run this line here, the guy on the outside has to run deeper in the corner, and then the guy on the bottom usually gets the jump up right in the center, and then you hope the guy on the outside makes a run down the straightaway. So it's a straight out. Outside guy runs in harder. Inside guy tries to get off a little harder.
Neil, what he's actually doing there, he's cutting Bill Elliott's approach off the corner where he has to pinch the car, and he don't get a good smooth run out towards the wall there.
Yep. There's the bumper we're talking about. It's missing off the back of the 12. But there's really, even though this bumper is laid on the ground, it's really a fiberglass panel. The roll bars and the protective stuff is still on the back of the car.
Right, that's the real bumper. This is just, like you say, a skin or a cover.
Just strictly cosmetic. The bumper, the protective stuff for the fuel cell is still on there.
Or NASCAR wouldn't leave him out there.
Here comes Gant. He's going around Elliott up on top.
Now, back when they had metal bumpers on these cars, Bobby Allison won the 82 Daytona 500 in what was called Bumper Gate.
Guess who he beat?
One Buddy Baker?
No, he'd like to cut my head off, excuse me. He beat me one time in Talladega when the bumper come off, but he lost one in Daytona too, and that thing come back across the top of my car. And the last thing I remember looking at was the bottom of the brake pedal.
The Bumper Gate was because some people thought that bumper was extra heavy and it was kind of designed to disappear to lighten the car up. Some people thought that.
Well,
NASCAR didn't agree.
Even in testing, that bumper, you got to think that bumper hangs down. It's like a parachute back there.
Yep.
The air comes under the car, and it's got those lips on that bumper that slows it down. You take the back bumper off these things, they're a lot more aerodynamic, and that really is a big increase in a place like Daytona.
Folks, don't write in. I didn't even suggest that Bobby Allison had anything to do with that. I did not mean that. He just happened to lose the bumper, okay?
Just because there was a cord you pulled in a bumper. No.
Gant and Rusty Wallace battle pretty hard here, and Gant's going to move up 2 slots. He got Bill Elliott, and he just got Rusty Wallace. There's Spencer now side by side with, or rather Elliott underneath Wallace. Spencer just ahead of them.
One thing about it, Gant wrecks in the corner. He hasn't got near as far to go as the rest of them. Before he hits the wall, he gets up there and flirts with that thing all the time.
That's why Richard Petty always used to say he ran that real high line at Daytona. Because if something happens, there's ain't far to go.
Yeah, but you get there just the same amount of speed.
Right. Gant up high, he'll lap past Lake Speed.
I'll tell you what this does, though. We jokingly talk about, look here for the lead right here. The 6 cars ran the 28 down. He's up under him right here. Maybe he's fixing to shift gears in the 28. But Mark's car got a little loose. The 6 got a little loose on that inside.
Ernie may need to find a little overdrive. Boy, he didn't give Mark an inch cutting back in.
Now he's going to see if he can loosen the 6 up, stick that nose up under him. Just check him. That was just a check right there by the 28. Cram him up on the rear and see if he can break him loose.
Well, you can't get that 6 car any looser than it was at Charlotte 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but what Mark Martin did, he kept digging. He had the throttle down.
Finish second.
You know, Ernie might have a pushing problem on his car right now, and boy, that's aggravating here when you can't turn the car and make it stay on the bottom. I noticed he washed it up right at the center. And maybe he just wants to follow a little bit and even the heat up in the tires so he can make another run at him. Up, yeah, it didn't take long to even the tires up.
I don't know if Mark just want to lead a lap.
Well, he's 3rd in the points, Neil, and he still has a mathematical shot to catch Earnhardt or Wallace for 1st or 2nd in the standings. So leading a lap was worth an important 5 points to Mark Martin.
Yeah, talking about leading laps. Look directly behind that 6. That's Earnhardt in the 3.
Where did
if anybody wants to lead a lap, he does.
He's thinking 5 points right now, believe me.
Well, he got 5 at Charlotte. Rusty Wallace did not.
Wow. Let me tell you what, Mark Martin is I mean, when it's time for him to get going, he goes. He knows Earnhardt's going to try to get up there and lead that race, and he pulled over and gave him that running. And Mark's had a good little race on the race now.
Look at this. That's sure excitement. That's what they called him when he won the Modified Championship. Jimmy Spencer, the number 12. Here again, tried it low, tried it high. Against Kenny Schrader and Spencer. Spencer involved in controversy yesterday toward the end of the Busch Grand National race. Joe Bessie, running 3rd, came up on Spencer, who was 1 lap behind the leaders. Spencer was trying to lap Bobby Daughter, who was 2 laps down, wouldn't move over. He and Bessie got together a couple of times, and there was an altercation after the race as well.
Let's get ready to rumble was the call at the end of the race. And they did. There was a couple of NASCAR officials over there when that happened. And there were a couple of guys that hit the ground, so there's going to be a few things said about that before it's over.
I think so. We'll have more on that later on.
Neil, Earnhardt's got a fire belt under him. He's catching Ernie Irvin really fast now. The car is right on the bottom.
And we'll see if he can get past him when we come back. TNN Motorsports live coverage from Rockingham continues after this. Welcome back to Rockingham. Mike Joy with Neil Bonnet and Buddy Baker. Glenn Jarrett and Ralph Shaheen on pit road today. And there's the battle for the lead. Earnhardt took it. Irvin wanted it back, and here comes Jimmy Spencer.
Harry Gant pulled right in the middle of this deal, too.
You see Jimmy Spencer going on the outside there, and Harry Gant just in the higher line up there. We're going to have a good race, it looks like.
Boy, Spencer was on the outside. Where was Harry?
He tried it a little bit further out.
Yeah.
That's 3 lanes. It's a good indication how wide this track is. There's 3 workable lanes, but right here, it goes back to 1 or 1.5. You can spread them out 3 wide in the corners, but you got to thin them out getting down in the, as you start in the center right there. Look here, all over the racetrack. Schrader's getting up there in it.
And down the straightaway, single file again. Earnhardt, Spencer in the 12 car in second. Gann in third, Irvin in fourth, Schrader in fifth, and Mark Martin sixth. Took Dale Earnhardt 96 laps to get from 13th to the front. Actually started back in 22nd position. And here comes Spencer.
That is impressive, passing on the outside lane there. I'm telling you, that's strong.
You just talked how good it was to get rid of bumpers. They keep this up, these guys won't start with bumpers on them.
Spencer and Harry Gant go past Earnhardt.
Well, Spencer's getting the job done right here now. Goes Gann in that top side.
In the chase for the Winston Cup, every driver who leads a lap or more gets 5 bonus points for being the race leader at some time. So Earnhardt has collected those 5 points, and now he drifts back to 3rd place. Perhaps not voluntarily, but it is Spencer and Gant now.
It's always good to get those points in the bank. You know you got them then. That's a little more comfortable to run in third, not to know that you have them already in the bank.
And thus far, for the 2nd race in a row, Earnhardt has led a lap, and Rusty Wallace yet has not.
And y'all made a good point a while ago. You said the guy that can drive a loose race car. Well, that 12 car, there's nobody here that can run a car sideways any better than Jimmy Spencer can.
I tell you, that line Gant's running up there, we joke about that, but you gear these cars up to run around the bottom of this racetrack. You run high up there, and you're running another 100 feet down in that corner and rattling that motor a little bit more. It actually abuses that engine some more running that top lane of that track.
Here's Brett Bodine, Neil, who has moved up a few spots ahead of Bill Elliott. They're right behind Kenny Schrader. That will put Brett in 7th place in the Quaker State car. And Mark Martin has dropped back to 9th position behind Bill Elliott.
And right there behind Mark, you see the car of Rusty Wallace. We know that his crew's told him now that Earnhardt's led a lap, so I'm sure Rusty's wanting to try to get there and lead a lap also. Keep this thing close.
You know, too, Rusty can count on his crew to gain him a few spots on pit road. They've been doing it week in and week out. Won the pit crew championship here yesterday. Schrader squeezes between Jerry Hill and Ernie Irvin there.
We just had it. We picked up a radio transmission for the 6th car that pits, and I'm real loose. We could have told him that before because Mark, we had a shot inside the car. I was going, Mark is really hustling the car. He's the type of guy that can get so bad loose, most guys have to quit with it, and Mark will keep digging. See him working that thing to the right, working that wheel left, right, and chase that rear end all the way through the corner. That's one reason when somebody catches him, he lets them right on by and jumps in behind him. He doesn't need anybody directly on that rear bumper because it really gives him a fit.
Now, folks, these things don't feel like your street car when you're driving like that. They all have power steering, so it's not so hard to turn the wheel, but you get a lot of feedback from what those tires are doing, so they can chase that car through the corner like that.
You see Ernie Irvin way up high on the racetrack now. A while ago, he had the handle. He was able to run right around the bottom, but he's starting to move up into Gantville now.
Is that a suburb of Taylorsville?
Yeah.
Moving around Jimmy Means.
They keep wanting to come off that corner 3 wide. You just can't do it.
Right.
You can spread them out in the middle, but you got to narrow it up going in and out. I'm not going to say they can't do it. They'll all do it before the day's over.
First time that Jimmy Spencer has led at Rockingham in his career. In the Meineke Mufflers Ford of Bobby Allison and team, there's Harry Gant up in the high groove.
Mike, you mentioned something earlier. We're just thinking about that bumper flying off. You talked about weight. They weigh these cars before the race. They weigh them after the race. If that car should be light after the race, they have to take in consideration that it did lose it in an accident. If you purposely drop something off a car, they'll disqualify you. But, you know, Spencer's racing the car as hard as he can go. And that little piece fell off car probably didn't weigh 10 pounds.
But he freed up a lot of air under the back bumper there. We'll see if it's a factor later on. Jimmy Spencer leads at Rockingham with 106 laps complete. Welcome back to Rockingham, the AC-Delco 500. Quick look at the rookies in this race. Jeff Gordon just got lapped. He started 7th. He's now running 29th. Bobby Labonte's dropped back 12 spots from where he started. And Kenny Wallace from the tail of the field up to 25th. Harry Gant chasing Jimmy Spencer, the race leader.
Just about 2 laps ago, Gant pulled up on the outside of Spencer going down in the corner.
That's John Andretti in the Harris Teeter car down low. Getting overlapped. He'll be Billy Hagan's driver for all next season.
That's a real smart thing to do, is get him a lot of seat time before next year. All he's doing now is just learning the heavy car and the narrow tires and all from the Indy cars that had so much rubber down on the racetrack.
I'll tell you what, it's got to be a different feel for him. He was driving that 300-mile-an-hour top fuel dragster to go into one of these. He ran the dragster some, you know.
Here's Rusty Wallace following Derek Cope. Just ahead of Dale Jarrett. 9th place here. Just ahead of Kyle Petty, just behind Dale Jarrett, that is. Jarrett in 9th, Cope in 10th, Wallace 11th, and they're running 8.5 seconds behind the leader.
Mike, right about now, the crew chiefs, anybody that's not leading the race, the crew chiefs are calling, what can we do for you? What can we make you better? You know, when we have a caution or whenever we stop, what can we do to fix this car? Then you
no complaints for Jimmy Spencer, that's for sure.
No, then you need somebody to take shorthand if it's real bad.
Yep.
Well, I tell you, Gant's car, we saw it just there's Bobby Allison in the pit. Jimmy Spencer. Gant, the last time we following around this time, as he goes down in turn 3, he's been running high before, but you're talking about high. The last few laps, he's about knocked the fence down. As he's going through, watch Gant up here. He's going up, he was right below the top line. He's all the way above that top line, and he's been real loose off the corner. His back end been flying out from under him.
Neil, something else. He's running in a groove where nobody else is at, and he's wearing tires a lot more than somebody that's down in the groove where there's rubber buildup in the racetrack itself, so he'll run out of tires quicker than anybody else.
Plus, he's got to move all that little, dirt and rubber debris out of there and make himself a groove up there where nobody's been running. Here's your Napa Field standing update, where your favorite driver is at 110 laps because there are no unimportant parts. Napa.
I saw Gant one time all the way up beside. Look here. Now, here's a battle right here. There's 28 car and the 6. Going under the 4 car. Mark Martin said he had a loose condition, but he's still running that 28 car down.
And Nemechek is now just 1 lap down, driving for the Morgan McClure team in the Kodak car today.
There's Mark trying to make that move to the inside. He says he's loose. It's hard to drive under somebody without their rear getting.
Look at that 28 go up the racetrack. Look at the back end of that car. When you talk about loose now, he's got a loose condition. Momentum off the corner to the upper lane.
How many more RPM do you turn on the high part of the racetrack than you would if you're trying to dig off the bottom?
I'd say it had to be 150, 200 more because you run at that part of the track. You're already at real high RPM, and you hold it down just a split second longer, it really buzzes that motor up there. And that's what hurts it so bad. You're already at say 85, 8600. When you zing it up to 88, I mean it rattles it around. But the driver always promised to lift.
I won't blow up your motor.
I was down in the garage yesterday, and I kept hearing all these top guys say, if you'll give me so-and-so gear, I'll take it easy when I'm on fresh tires, and I won't hold it wide open. Well, that's over now. They're wide open.
Neil, both of us have done that. We told Harry Hyde and people like that, if you'll give me that gear, I promise I'll keep my eye on the tachometer, and I won't over-rev it. never even look at the tack once the race starts.
Yeah, the motor blew up, and I said, what did the oil pressure say before? I said, oh, it looked good. Never looked at it again. Starting to black, you never look at those things. Something about being a race car driver, you just don't tell all the truth about what that car is doing at times.
Not all the time.
And don't give a lot of room when you pull over on the straightaway. That was really close. See Bill Elliott making a move here.
Boy, there's a lot of wiggling. We've been hearing these guys say, who's going to outslide who? Well, that's the name of the game right now, it looks like.
The real problem is when you tell a crew chief the car is perfect and you're running 15.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a hard sell.
Yeah.
No, the worst part is when you're out there and you got your tongue hung out and they say, can you pick up the pace?
Yeah, right.
Give me a set of pedals. I'll see if I can help this thing. Elliott's coming back now. Seems like one guy will take off and he'll heat things up and then he loses. Oh, look at, boy, Dale Jarrett, the 28, almost got together coming off turn 4. This is a good day. You won't be able to bump into somebody. So I couldn't help it. We were all sliding.
Right.
You got a good excuse today. And I tell you, people don't realize what a good job these drivers do under these conditions, at the speeds they run, having to drive up beside somebody, slipping and sliding. If they do touch every now and then, look here, look at Dale Jarrett, just going as hard as he can to pass somebody, car sliding sideways 150 miles an hour. Not just anybody can do that.
Nope. Looks easy on television. It's not. Trouble back straight away. A fiery crash. Kenny Wallace against the wall. One car comes bouncing off it. Here come the leader. They're going to move past it all on the low side. That's T.W. Taylor up against the fence. And they'll come back around to the start-finish line. With Earnhardt in front, and where's Irvin? Another car got involved in it, and it's up against the wall.
72, it looks like, up on the wall.
That it is, John Andretti at turn 3. A lot of smoke from, I think that's Mike Waltrip's car. And Kenny Wallace continues, even though that car caught fire. We'll take a look at what happened when we come back. Cleanup underway. That's the back straightaway where T.W. Taylor's car is parked. John Andretti's car is against the wall at turn number 3. And there were other cars that sustained damage. In this, the 6th caution flag of the day.
See if we can pick up what happens here, buddy, coming off turn 2. Oh, there's car sideways already.
That's Taylor.
Looks like he just lost it down there, right up in front of everyone.
You talk about threading a needle.
Kenny Wallace said that's the Andretti car. Looks like it hit, hit him toward the right front wheel off. 26 car ran over some debris. And here comes a lot of the lead cars. There's Elliott, the 28.
Top of your screen.
Yeah, he just lost control coming out of the corner, and he backed it over there. And in that smoke, you really can't see anything. They're just driving where they think he won't be.
That Andretti car ripped the entire suspension off. Not only that, it tore the brakes off the car. And you see on the left side of your screen, he keeps going.
Look at Irvin way up high trying to snake down in there, and he just sneaks in front of Mark Martin.
A lot of the lead cars there. Dodged a bullet on that one.
Neil, one thing, when you come in there like that, you hope everybody's slowing down. A lot of times the car behind you will knock you right into it, even though you're making an evasive move.
That's when those spotters are worth their pace on top of this building, telling you to shut it down. It's clogged completely up. 26 car that we saw run over some debris coming back into the pits. He'd already been in once. Must have ran over something.
Mike Waltrip also got just a little piece of Taylor's car on the right front as he went past.
There's a 26 car that looks like we saw him run over a big piece of trash or debris, and they're looking to see what kind of damage he has under the car. The car jumped up when he ran over it, so no telling what it is.
Let's try to get a word with Mark Martin, buddy.
Okay, Mark, this is Buddy Baker at TNN. That thing looks like it's really greasy out there today, is it?
Seems like the track's gotten really loose, a lot more loose than most of us expected. A bunch of us are out there, you know, just running sideways, and there's a few cars that are really hooked up. So we've got to just keep working on this thing and see if we can get it tightened back up.
Okay, man, good luck.
They've been under the hood on Ricky Rudd's car, and they are working underneath the right rear corner of Jeff Gordon's car. He might have run over some of that debris as well in the back straightaway.
You know, we saw him, Mike, run over something with the 26, but we got a radio call saying they thought they broke a valve spring also. And I tell you, when you can slam the brakes on, chatter the wheels, and bounce that motor around, it's kind of unusual for it to happen, just slowing down like that. They could possibly done it. Look at the 2-car where he's sitting on this restart. Boy, I tell you, they get him in and out of those pits.
We're under caution. We've been talking to some of the crew members. And as we go to break, we asked Raymond Fox of the Robert Yates team if he wants to move up in racing from where he is right now.
No, it's not really tough. It's, I don't know. It's right now, the way I am now, I wouldn't want to be way up in the ladder because it's a big responsibility, and I don't think I can take that. But I just like to be a general mechanic. One day I would love to be a crew chief.
TNN Motorsports exclusive live coverage of the AC-Delco 500 is brought to you by Goodyear, #1 in tires.
Well, standing by with Bobby Allison, the man who had a lot of success here at Rockingham. First of all, Bobby, good to see you out here today. It's got to feel good to see that number 12 car up front.
Well, I'm really pleased with how he's running, Glenn. He's doing a nice job in that Meineke Ford, and, you know, worked really hard this week, you know, on getting the car to handle well and drive good, take good care of the tires, and Jimmy Spencer's certainly doing that, and the guys are working really hard, and the car's running good.
You mentioned tires. I saw him take the tires off the car. Hold on, we got a problem here.
Got an ambulance on fire back there, Glenn, that took either T.W. Taylor or John Andretti on the mandatory trip to the Care Center. It's down behind the pits in turn #1. So a lot of the rescue help here at the track is volunteer. That's the Wallace Rescue Squad, and not Rusty Wallace, as are many of the wreckers. Let's go back down to Glenn now that that's extinguished. Glenn.
Okay, the problem there seems to be solved. Bobby, I saw him check the tires after they took them off there. That looked to be a perfect set of tires, so the chassis on this car evidently must be really dialed in right now.
Well, the guys worked really hard on that, and of course we've had a good car for a lot of the year, and little things have come into the picture, and but the guys keep on working, and they worked hard on that yesterday, and it is showing pretty good today.
Well, again, as I say, it's really good to see Bobby Allison out here focused on his race team. Hope you have a good day, Bobby. Ralph?
Thank you, guys.
Glenn, this is Scott Robinette, who is one of the crew members for the Harry Gant team. Now, Scott, while everybody's getting their cars tightened up, you took wedge out of Harry's car. Why?
The car's a little bit tight, and it's pretty good, but we want to try it this time to see, you know, if it's better, we'll leave it. If it didn't, we'll just put it back in next time.
Now, how loose can you go? Are you real close to being on the fine line?
Just a fine adjustment right there. Not really, not major, just pretty fine, you know. It should be a little bit better. We usually push here, so, you know, I think it'll be okay right there. If it didn't, we'll change it back.
Mike, they took one round out.
Thanks, Ralph. T.W. Taylor's car is pretty well messed up. This car was purchased from Bob Sutton and Brad Akins after they ran 10th with it at Dover with driver Bobby Hamilton. It will need some serious surgery.
Looks like a new clip to me. What do you think, Neil?
New clip and a section on the right. He took a pretty good shot there, buddy.
Here's our behind-the-wall update.
Ambulance caught on fire earlier, and boy, I tell you what, that thing must have been leaking fuel.
Yeah, not just the race cars that need good pit crews here. We're under caution. We'll go back to green in a minute. 132 laps are complete at the North Carolina Motor Speedway. And yes, Dave Marcus stayed out on the track, and he is the leader. He gets his 5 bonus points. We'll be right back. One of the biggest industries here in the sand hills of North Carolina is pulpwood. Those sand pines proliferate around this area, and they go into making plywood, particle board, all sorts of different things.
They proliferate up here. We grow them in Alabama.
Yeah.
That looks like the fork you used at dinner last night.
Oh, stop it. Stop it. I'll tell you.
You have to put up with both of us if you like it or not.
No, I'm going to Glenn Jarrett. Be that way.
Well, thanks, Mike. John Andretti has come out of the care center. He is okay. We're glad to see that. Your initiation has been kind of grinding into stock car racing. John, what happened out there?
Well, I guess I couldn't hardly see the number because there was so much tire smoke, but I was running right behind Michael Waltrip, and
he moved to miss it, and he couldn't see it either, and he hit him, but I could see it even less until he moved. So it's just one of those things. I mean, when one of these things turns sideways on a track like this, there's not many places to go, and I was probably a little too close to maybe Michael to see everything, you know, but that's where I was racing. So, you know, I'm disappointed because Harris Teeter just came on board, and for them, because we would have liked to get the whole race in for him.
Well, better luck next time. Fortunately, John was not in the ambulance that had the problem. Ralph is there.
Well, Glenn, they had problems all morning long getting this ambulance started. It kept stalling out on them. And I'm not sure exactly what the problem was. Maybe something electrical inside the engine. But it did go, and it went in a hurry.
The crews continue to work. That was not one of the ambulances that was transporting John Andretti or T.W. Taylor to the infield care center. Well, they're watching the races in style.
Oh, they got their lazy boys up there. Laid back, taking it easy.
But did they get it at Heilig Myers? That's the big question here. Film at 11. Ernie Irvin has won this year for Morgan McClure and for Robert Yates. Has that been done before? James from California wants to know. And Greg Fielden, whose 40 years of stock car racing encompasses 4 volumes. He's our statistician and historian. In 1970, Richard Petty won 16 races in a Petty Enterprise car and 2 on dirt in Don Robertson's car. In 74, Bobby Allison won in cars of his own and cars owned by Roger Penske. In 67, Bobby won in Holman Moody Fords and a J.D. Bracken car, but the record, 1971, Bobby Allison won with 3 different teams. Twice in his own Dodge Charger, 8 times in Holman Moody Fords and Mercuries, and once in Melvin Joseph's Ford Mustang. Yes, the Mustang was an eligible Grand National car back in 1971. Charlie Presley, brother of soon-to-be Winston Cup driver Robert Presley, was asked if it's been his goal all along to be able to work with his brother as he will in 95.
Yeah, I wanted to stay in racing. When I seen Robert really take a serious interest in driving, I wanted to one day be teamed with him and do what we're going to get the chance to do in 95. Hopefully be very successful at it.
Flag. We're back underway here at the North Carolina Motor Speedway under green from our Ray Bestis aerial platform. The Best in Brakes people, Ray Bestis bringing you this shot of the restart as Jimmy Spencer hauls them around the North Carolina Motor Speedway.
I think Jimmy Spencer must have borrowed one of those trick transmissions. He got a pretty good jump there too, Neil.
Yeah, he got a good jump on him. What happened, the 15 car is trying to get that lap back on these restarts, which is totally the way it needs to be done. He's working that inside, and the guy on the front gets a good jump.
All of it 3 wide.
Contact right here. So the car's touching. One on the outside sliding up. That was Hutch Strickland.
Derek Cope was the driver of the yellow car on the bottom there. And Mark Martin moves in.
Hutch Strickland around the outside of one of the lap cars.
That's the Jimmy Horton car.
Mark
Active Trucking.
Yeah, Mark trying to make that same pass.
Look at what's happening inside Mark Martin's car.
8200. The front straightaway, you turn a lot more RPM. That was coming up the back straightaway. This front straightaway, this dog leg is where you see some bigger numbers. See what he gets it up to. 82, 4, 84. And you see where he's lifting at. He's not running that high line like we were talking about earlier. That bottom lane's probably a couple hundred RPM less.
Go up to the battle for second place where Earnhardt and Harry Gant are going at it. It's Ford, Chevy. Spencer, Gant, Earnhardt. Ken Schrader is 4th. Bill Elliott is 5th.
Well, this is just going to, when Earnhardt tries under the 33, Gant, I thought Gant might move on that outside. That's where he's been so good.
Back behind them, Derek Cope must have had a killer pit stop. He is back in 6th. Mark Martin is 7th. Here's 8th place Kyle Petty on the left side of your screen. Strickland, Wallace, Irvin, Dale Jarrett, and Jimmy Horton battling. Horton is 1 lap down.
I guarantee you, Rusty Wallace right here is digging. He's wanting to get up there and try to lead one of those laps.
Show you what happened here just a moment ago in that pack. down in turn 1. Kyle Petty getting a little shot here.
Looks like Kyle slowed down the inside lane, got a little bit of tap from the rear. Another tap. And he starts up the racetrack.
That's Hut Strickland.
About ran out of racing.
Caution is out. Oil in turn 1 again is the reason for the caution this time.
It's that mystery car again. It's the car that has a 55-gallon oil tank on board.
Holy cow.
Jimmy Spencer, the former national modified champion. He won that title driving for Frank Cece, Scott, and Jeff Welliver, who now have the number 34 Fiddle-Faddle car in the Busch Series, driven by Todd Bodine and next year by Mike McLaughlin. But in yesterday's Busch race, as we mentioned earlier, Spencer was trying to lap Bobby Daughter, but the leaders were lapping Spencer, including 97, the blue and white car, Joe Bessie. Now, number 2 is in second place, Ward Burton. Here comes the white and blue car of Bessie. Spencer's car, the Ruby Tuesday's car, is that teal-colored machine. Spencer won't give the low groove, and they get together and hard. Now watch, the man in white is Spencer, the man in yellow is his gas man, and they get into it with Joe Bessie's crew. We talked to Spencer this morning.
Really, I was wearing a white suit, you know, and one of my crew members was wearing a yellow suit. All he was doing was trying to protect me, and, you know, something happened there, and he got in trouble also for it. But I have to stick up for my guys. You know, my crew members are sticking by my side, and, you know, it's one of them deals that probably shouldn't have happened, and I'm responsible for what he did, really. And it's a bad deal all the way around, but I'm the type of person that I have to address something if I think it was right or wrong. I like to get it out of the way right then and there. Don't like to carry it over to the next race.
Well, NASCAR addressed it as well. Spencer and crewman Mike Culbertson were fined $1,000 each, and each were suspended from Busch Series competition through the end of this year. We are under caution at lap 145. Here's the way they're running. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Rockingham, North Carolina. We are going to hold under caution here for a bit. A lot of questions about gas on our 800 number. Debbie from California, how many gallons of gas in the gas can and how many in the fuel cell?
Well, the fuel cell holds 22 gallons, and each one of the gas cans in the pits are allowed 11 gallons per can. You can't have but 2 cans, so you can't stock the extra if you got to go get it after every caution. How'd that sound?
Pretty good.
That sounded like you knew what you was talking about.
I kind of confused myself right there at the end for a minute.
Somebody asked if they could run the gas in their cars that NASCAR race cars use, and no, it is leaded gas, leaded racing gas. It is not unleaded. The extra octane this fuel has won't hurt you. Won't hurt your engine, but your engine probably doesn't have enough compression to take advantage of it either.
I will tell you this, it'll turn your valves in a regular car a little cherry red because they are, you know, high octane.
Show you a little something here between Brett Bodine and Ricky Rudd, the Quaker State and the Tide cars.
Trying to get a shot of him here.
I know the caution, look at this.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Well, let's see if it goes back up here. Here we go. Kaboom. That's another one of those cases where you want to settle it immediately, not delay the action.
For a bunch of cars there side by side. I think that was probably one of those who came off pit road in front of who deals.
Looks like the right front fender's been in on the 26. I don't know if it happened during this deal here.
Ricky Rudd, runner-up twice in this race. Bobby Hillen's been black flag to make a stop.
What he might have said, just check my left side here. I'm going to turn in front of you and let you check my left side, see if it's okay.
Well, let's check with Ralph.
Mike, the great gas mileage the crews have been getting here has made things pretty boring for the Maxwell House gas man, Hinky Eames. So Hinky decided he'd take some leftover lug nuts and make a set of dice out of them, and these guys have been shooting craps up against the pit wall.
Oh, Hinky, don't take those things to Vegas. Bill and Gail Davis there in the shot there who own that car. Bobby Labonte with quite a number of top 10 finishes this year. He's kind of labored in the shadow of Jeff Gordon because Gordon's run up front a lot, but over the last few races, Labonte's finishes have been better. Kenny Wallace is the other member of that rookie trio, and he was involved in one of the accidents. He's back in 35th place. We'll be back to the North Carolina Motor Speedway as we continue under caution and they clean up the speedway. We'll be going back to green shortly. Exclusive live coverage of the AC-Delco 500 on the Nashville Network is brought to you by Napa, because there are no unimportant parts. We're getting ready to go back to green. After pit stops, Jimmy Spencer, the leader. Harry Gant in second. Dale Earnhardt is third. Fourth is Ken Schrader. Fifth, Bill Elliott. Sixth is Derek Cope. Seventh, Mark Martin. Eighth, Kyle Petty. Ninth is Rusty Wallace. 10th, Dale Jarrett. 11th is Ernie Irvin. 12th, Darrell Waltrip. 13th is Dick Trickle. 14th, Sterling Marlin. And 15th is Terry Labonte. Ahead of Morgan Shepherd, Jeff Bodine, Ricky Rudd, Brett Bodine, Todd Bodine, all the Bodines, Rick Mast, and Dave Marcus. Those are the cars on the lead lap.
Sure there weren't a couple more Bodines in there?
Well, 3 Bodines and 3 Wallaces. Hey. The second race in a row.
What a family affair. Look at Spencer get that big jump again.
And that's Earnhardt chasing him this time. Chevy, Ford, Chevy, 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 Ford.
We see Gant coming there. Gant has been right up front all day, but he still hasn't led a lap. He's not through yet either.
And important to the point chase, neither has Rusty Wallace. Dale Earnhardt has.
It seems to me that Earnhardt's just a little faster than Spencer on cold tires. See him, he's able to close in right to the center of the corner there. Not bad down the straightaway, huh,
no.
Neil?
There's 3 of the racingest guys you'll ever see.
Gant's got it crowded down here.
2 laps and he's in the high groove.
Yeah. They said they made a chassis adjustment when he started to see if it would make it better. And if it didn't, they'll take it back away. So they're still playing with Gant's car, trying to get it better.
Here comes Earnhardt up under the quarter pound with Jimmy Spencer there. No, they made a little touch there.
Wasn't quite under him.
See the roll bar sticking out the back. That's the bumper now. That little panel off the back is gone. Now Spencer's up a little higher on the track.
Earnhardt's been good on the restarts. Remember, and almost get together.
Yeah, Spencer got real loose coming off that corner. Spencer's car's wiggling on him right now.
And that cost him the lead. So Earnhardt goes back to the front. Meanwhile, Wallace is back in 10th.
It only cost him the lead. It looks like Gant's trying to the second position now.
Boy, he made a big change on his car. He's able to pass somebody on the bottom of the racetrack. It's this.
There's Gant. He's digging away on that inside, trying to get it. See, and there's Spencer taking that advantage of that, being able to run a little bit harder down in the corner from that outside. Spencer's car got loose with him earlier. See a little wiggle again.
Kenny Schrader's keeping respectful distance there in 4th place. He's got leg speed between himself and Bill Elliott.
Yeah, this is a case here where the driver says, hey, let me see what these guys do first before I get up in the middle of it, because both of them are sitting in there really close to each other, entering the corner and off. So Schrader probably let him get straightened out, and then he'll decide what he's going to do.
Spencer can get in the corner so hard. I mean, he just drives right on by Harry on the outside there. And second now, he looks like he's closing in on Dale Earnhardt again.
Gant just keeps on every now and then. He'll just test that water out there on the outside. He tried it a few laps ago. He lost ground. So I'm going to stick it out there a little bit more, trying it again. I don't know why I said test that water out there. That's concrete.
Yes. Out of the race, John Andretti, T.W. Taylor, and Loy Allen. When Ernie Irvin took off and led 15 of the first 16 laps and then led 52 more in a row, we got a call from Mississippi. Who'd led the most consecutive laps in a race? Cale Yarborough led 500 laps at Bristol in Junior Johnson's car in 1973. If the race had been 1,000 laps, he probably would have led 1,000 that day.
You got that right.
I was going to say he bowled a 300 game that day.
That's
he
right.
did all you can do.
Yep.
Here's Kenny Schrader. He's really flying around the racetrack right now. He's running very well all day. He's just kind of conserving the car, it looks like, but he's running right on the bottom of the racetrack, and that'll pay off later on in the race for him.
That's Blake Speed right behind him. Blake lost that lap early in the race, but it seems like his car is really good. He's able to stay with these leaders on every one of these race starts. Joe Elliott. Here's again. He's trying his best to get that outside and take it away from Schrader. Excuse me, not Schrader, but Spencer. If he can ever get far enough to make Spencer give him that outside off their corner, he's okay. But trying to get a little bit further up there.
Jimmy Spencer, winless in 111 Winston Cup starts, looking for victory number 1. Harry Gant last went to victory lane last August at Michigan.
Well, Harry Gant's giving a clinic in that high line right at the second hit.
Speaking of Cale, his driver Derek Cope just got loosened up a little from Mark Martin.
Knocked a feather out of that Bojangles car, huh? Uh-oh, I didn't say that.
That's the chicken car, as you folks know.
You saw him as they came up that corner. You could see Cope look over to see who was inside. And see, that's the difference. See, Mark's on the inside of this guy now, and he can't use all the race cars. He turned 7,600 down the back straightaway, where we're seeing a lot more earlier. You run that inside line, you got to back out. Turned 82 right there, 8,300 get down in turn 1.
Dale Earnhardt had a shot at the lead, Neil, down into turn number 1, but boy, Spencer's going to make him work for it.
Spencer makes me look smart, doesn't he? I told you, he's on hot tires.
Whoa!
Oh, look at the spoiler coming up here.
Dan hadn't led a lap yet, but he's probably the strongest car that had. He's been, every time he gets up there, it seems like the longer they run, the better Harry Gant gets, and it's also the cautions come out every time he's got there by the lead.
You see Bill Elliott's moved into the top 5 there.
Yep.
The car is really handling well, too.
And they're all right together. Folks, Rockingham is the longest day in all of Winston Cup racing, but this may be the best race we've ever seen here. It is so far. Here they are for the lead.
He said Harry had never led a lap today. He's 6-2, I believe.
They just went across that line. Keep in mind that scoring line that we showed you earlier. As they come off turn 4, that's where it's recorded. Now, that's the best run he's had at him right here. Spencer's got to give him that outside. Oops, almost. Slid right up in front of him.
Kind of like giving him the back of your hand.
Oh, yeah. Okay, now, watch for this line as they come off the corner. Question, who crosses it first? Spencer beat him by about 2 foot to that line that time.
Left him about 2 inches on the outside.
And even though Harry crossed the line, he didn't get that lap. He scored back on the other side.
That's right. He'll have to
get a lead this time.
I would say he's going to lead her this time around.
Yep. He'll have to lead at turn 4 to be credited with leading that lap. This is only the 6th race that Gant has led this year. Turn 1, a car got pushed way high into the wall, saves it. That's Strickland. He's getting into the back of Jimmy Horton. No harm, no foul. Oh, no, the foul car is now running in second. That's a few feathers, buddy.
There goes Kenny Schrader by Dale Earnhardt in the third spot, or trying to. Earnhart's really tough to pass also, but there we go.
Looks like that high line is the trick right now. After you get some laps on your tires, looks like the trick is to move up in that top side.
Neil, you touched on something that's very important. The spotters will look, and they'll see a car getting an advantage on a particular groove, and they'll tell the driver, try it, and let me time it, and then I'll let you know if it's good or bad for our car.
Show you how Harry Gant has come through the field to lead this race.
Next time.
There we go.
There we go.
From 8 to 30 laps to the lead, and keep in mind we're only a third of the way through this race.
24 hours of Rockingham, you know.
But it's been a good one.
That suits that guy right there. Harry Gant's probably the strongest man in the field, even though he is 53 years old. He is a physical, fit person.
He will race all through 1994 and then turn that steering wheel over to Robert Presley.
Gant's, you know, he's 53 years old, and you never see him in many shoving and pushing matches like we saw a little while ago. When you walk up to Gant's car, you better be ready more to the push. He's serious business when you walk up there. You better be determined on what you're going to do.
Derek Cope in the Bojangles Ford battling Kyle Petty behind Earnhardt and Elliott. 4th place here. 9 different drivers have led this race already. That's only 1/3 distance. The record is 12. There's Mark Martin coming back.
Kyle Petty in the middle of that last shot there, sliding sideways a little bit. I think a little smoke out of him, like he locked the brake up going down in that corner.
Said this morning, thought he had a good car for today. Kyle, he has dominated here, and here's Rusty, who has not yet led the race. He's in 9th place.
Well, you know, Rusty said himself, I think it was 200 and something laps before he took the lead when he won the race here.
That's right.
Boy, this is an all-day sucker. You might as well just do it anytime you want to.
Don't tell that to the sales department.
You better hope you got a good flavor, too, because you're going to live with it a while.
Who's that way up high? That's Derek Cope. Up in the Harry Gant groove.
Yeah, Kyle's got a real problem with him. I think Cope's outrunning him down the straightaway, and Kyle's outrunning him through the corner, and that makes it a little difficult to pass.
They passed Jimmy Means there.
Well, I'll tell you what, that part about Gant being the only guy up in that top groove having to wear his tires, he's getting some help up there now.
Yeah.
After when you beat somebody in the ground like Gant's doing now, they're all going to get up there and give it a test, see if they can work that top side.
Here's your Napa Field standing update, brought to you by Napa, because there are no unimportant parts. There's the battle you're watching. Right there, Earnhardt Elliott, Derek Cope, Kyle Petty, Mark Martin, and Rusty Wallace, and Ernie Irvin.
That Mark Martin's car, I'm not so sure. He got out there early, tested that thing. He knows what he's got. Mark's the kind of guy that keeps that thing under him all day long. We'll see some more of him before the day's over up front.
Derek Cope's had a good, strong run today. And he's fought that car off from being a little loose a time or two. But since the first round of caution flag pit stops, he's been up among the first 6 or 7 cars.
Yeah, they evidently had a good stop somewhere in the middle there, Mike, because once he got up there, he's sticking with him now.
This battle's 4 seconds behind the leader. 22 cars on the lead lap. And these cars are 3 or more laps down, you're seeing now. Battle for second behind Harry Gant. 2 seconds back. Here goes Schrader. And a little further back, Derek Cope moves up on Dale Earnhardt for 5th place. And here comes Ernie Irvin trying the high side.
You know, it looks like just what Ernie Irvin said before the race started today. I think the racetrack is really kind of greasy, and everybody's just having to do the best they can. They run them sideways, and when they get them where they don't run sideways, they push too much. So you can't really hit the setup like you want it.
Well, Cope completes the pass on Earnhardt. And Irvin does the high-low on Rusty Wallace. Wallace going to hold him off.
I like that, the high-low.
It's not very often we go to a racetrack and you see them use the entire racing surface. They're doing that today. We're seeing what, first lane, second, third lane. Makes for some good racing.
One of the most colorful personalities on pit road, Danny Chocolate Myers, comes from a racing family. But how did he get started with Richard Children?
Well, yeah, you know, my dad got killed driving a race car in 1957. I kind of grew up in the sport. You know, went to Bowman Gray Stadium. As a matter of fact, Richard and myself sold popcorns and peanuts in the grandstands at Bowman Gray Stadium. And then I got out of it for a while and went down to Richard's one day and asked him for a job. And he just needed somebody that day, so I went to work and been there like 12 years.
We're back at Rockingham. So you look at the top 10 as they're running. Back through Derek Cope in 5th, and then you'll see that Rusty Wallace has picked up a couple of spots. And there in that pack, he's now chasing Mark Martin as Kyle Petty gets underneath Derek Cope. They have passed by Dale Earnhardt.
I was going to say, Mike, he picked up a couple of spots, but he picked up a real critical one when he got in front of Earnhardt. He's got to finish as many places as he can in front of him as often as he can with this thing winding down.
Still side by side, Petty underneath. Derek Cope, Kyle Petty, who's dominated here last year, and has taken a pile of money out of this place. There's Rusty in the back of that pack, and Ernie Irvin moving up.
Rusty said this is not the car that he won with earlier. He brought a different car here. Late in the race where he led before, so don't cut him out of this.
You got to wonder, is something wrong with Earnhardt? Dick Trickle just went past him on the low side. Not that that means anything's wrong with it, but Earnhardt has really drifted to the tail end of the pack pretty quickly here.
Mike, if you're off in your handling on your race car here, it shows up in the worst way. I mean, you can lead the race for a long time like the 28 car did, and then get a little bit off on your handling and go straight backwards. It's a really tough racetrack to have it your way all day.
Yeah, the gut feel I got when I saw the 28 take off those first 10 or 15 laps looking at Charlotte. So this guy's got it. Complexion of this thing changes all day long.
Let's go to Ralph Shaheen.
We can answer that question for you, Mike, regarding the handling of Dale Earnhardt's car. The handling has gone away on the number 3 machine. He has already radioed into the crew. He wants them to take 2 rounds of wedge out of the car at the very next stop, and he wants 4 new tires on the machine.
Thanks, Ralph. For the point lead to change, if Rusty Wallace won, Earnhardt would have to finish 22nd or worse for the point lead to change. That was one of the questions on our 800 line as we go to Glenn Jarrett.
Well, guys, as Earnhardt's having trouble here in Rusty Wallace pits, things are real good. Buddy Parrott, the crew chief, told me that the car was working real well. They're just making laps right now, taking it easy. Rusty's trying to find the best groove on the racetrack. The car's working real well right now, not taking any chances, not having any problems at all. They're satisfied.
I've got to wonder who's playing possum just a little bit here. We're coming up on half distance, a lot of racing left to go. Who do you think is just trying to stay in contention and within striking distance?
In my opinion, I think Kyle Petty, he's in 5th place right now, and I think he's just sitting there. He's got a lot of race car. They've won here before. They know a good setup. I think he's the man.
I tell you what, I think a lot of these guys got good race cars, but I think Gant might have something better than the rest of us got. I think he's got the ability to pick him a spot and run up there where they can't get their car suited for it. He's practices up there and practice a lot of that in the practice for that part of the track. So Gant might be the spoiler here. He might be in a position where, unless they come in and get tires right at the end of the race, a fresh set of tires might beat him. Old tires, he's tough.
He's going to put a lap on Jeff Bodine, the 20th place car. He's just lapped Dave Marcus, running 21st.
Mike, he's a real gambler, and he goes to the man leading the race and pulling away. I like your strategy, Neil.
Well, I'm just hoping everybody says, well, I just figured everybody says he's 53 years old. He'll get tired. Hey, you can forget that.
No way.
They've run 1,000 miles, the rest of them apart again, keep going.
He has 18 career Winston Cup wins, but he has never won here, Harry Gant. That answers Kathy from Kentucky's question. On the line in 1991 was his best Winston Cup season. 5 victories. We've got 9 leaders today. 12 is the record. 15 lead changes. Ernie Irvin, Derek Cope, and Dick Trickle, 8th place here.
We were talking about Trickle a while ago, go around Earnhardt. You said nothing against Trickle. You're exactly right about it. Here comes Trickle running these guys down, trying to move on around them. There he goes to the inside. They'll make it 3 wide down the front straightaway.
Somebody does give a little bit here.
Maybe a whole lot. Comes Cope back on the outside. 98 car.
You see Dick Trickle there. You talk about a guy that's won a lot of races. They think he's won somewhere in the neighborhood of 1,000 races in ASA and different things around in the mid part of the United States. And I think he is. Right now, if you had to pick somebody just to stick in the car any week, he would be the man to go after. He's a pretty good race car driver in any car he gets in.
If you put him in your car, then I got to put Jimmy Hensley in mine. That's kind of the way it's gone this season. As far as who uses fellas who don't have a full season ride at the moment. But I agree with you. Trickle is on this circuit. He hasn't shown the success he has on the shorter track, so I think he has been very underrated as a Winston Cup driver. Tremendous career achievement and talent.
I tell you, this 28 car in the 98 have been at it for 20 laps. Back and forth, back and forth. Cope's not giving him anything. He's making him work for it.
There's Dale Jarrett sticking his race car in the position here. There's a lot of good race cars just sitting back right now. Ernie Irvin's a bit loose off the corner there.
running behind that pack. Cope had moved up a few spots, and now he's given them back. And Dale Jarrett knocking on the door of the top 10. He is 11th. Harry Gant has a 5.5-second lead on Jimmy Spencer, Ken Schrader, Bill Elliott, and Kyle Petty up to 5th. Some of the pretty scenery around the North Carolina Motor Speedway. This looks a bit serene compared to the race we're watching, where Harry Gant has opened up quite a lead on Jimmy Spencer, Kenny Schrader, Bill Elliott, and Kyle Petty. Mark Martin is 6th. Rusty Wallace, Dick Trickle, Derek Cope, and Ernie Irvin are the top 10 as they lap past Greg Sachs' wounded machine and that of Kenny Wallace. There's Dave Marcus, that Terramite car. The company makes little backhoes out of Charleston, West Virginia, sponsoring Marcus this week. And he got to lead 5 laps early on.
Always good to see Marcus get some help, because he's the hardest working guy probably in the whole garage area. You see all these other crew members that people bring to the racetrack. He basically does all his own work.
Marcus and Jimmy Means, perhaps the last of a breed in Winston Cup racing. Bill Elliott and Kyle Petty are fighting for 4th. Mark Martin moving in. Let's ride with him.
I'm glad I'm up here the way he's whipping that wheel around in the corner. Watch him here. He starts to fan in this thing about halfway through the corner. Look at that steering wheel jump around. I believe I've seen his left leg go up in the air there. Neil, he was wrestling that thing so hard.
It looks like they touch him a bit. There's one thing you have to live with too at Rockingham. See that sun shining on that windshield, that blind spot as you go in turn 1 and 2. And it gets worse as the day goes along, but blinds your view for just a second.
Well, let's give a couple laps to Mark. Just ride along and listen.
Wow.
Ooh, Kyle went way up.
You weren't supposed to say anything. They got your attention though, didn't it?
Just as they start into this corner, watch the sun right here on this windshield. Well, where'd he go? Behind the clouds? I think he's higher on the racetrack or something.
This is in Mark Martin's car. See him feed the throttle in.
Kyle Petty coming down pit road while this is going on.
And Jeff Bodine.
See how long he's off the gas now. He's just feathering back into it. See that foot going up and down real slow. Now watch when he really nails it. There he goes. He's back under full acceleration.
And Kyle Petty comes into the pits.
See him cleaning that windshield. That's very important right now. You've seen the sun a while ago on that windshield. It had the oil on it. That's very important. That guy cleans that windshield as good as he possibly can.
I tell you, the gas man's what's got to hustle nowadays. They're so good with the tires, the gas man doesn't hardly have time to fill it up.
Yes, 21.5 seconds. The stop for Kyle Petty. Jeff Bodine was also in. For 4th place, Mark Martin has caught Bill Elliott.
Ooh, Elliott's car break loose.
It just shot up the racetrack.
Mark got right behind him, and I mean, the Elliott's car broke loose straight up.
Ernie Irvin, Derek Cope battle.
Again.
Still.
Isn't there a song still?
Irvin moves up to 8th place. Dale Jarrett still in it. They're in 10th and Interstate Battery Chevy. Derek Cope just ahead. One of our call-in questions was about Derek Cope testing a Mercury. And would he run it next year? No. Said they didn't much like it. And they won't have a Cougar for Winston Cup racing next year.
Here comes the 28 car down pit road. We'll go back to that other shot in a minute. 28 coming in the pit.
Just past Todd Bodine, who's getting 4 tires. First round of green flag stops today.
Yeah, everybody's stopping right now, but Lake Speed has gone to the Harry Gant groove, and he's trying to get a lap back. If we get a shot here in a second, we'll...
Whoa!
You see him on... He actually passed Harry Gant on the outside. Now, buddy, he was up in the altitude there.
And we said a couple of times it looked like he had his quicker cars than anyone here. He just got his lap back.
Mark Martin and Dick Trickle come on to pit road as Ernie Irvin leaves. Sterling Marlin from the Rebestas car, getting service from the Savola team, and here is Harry Gant, the race leader. Now, Harry might have been able to go a few laps further on gas, but with those other cars with new tires, you watch on the Keystone Light pit clock, when the other cars get new tires, you can't stay out there too long.
No, it can get you way behind running as slow as they do on old tires here.
Ricky Rudd is in. Rusty Wallace.
Rusty Wallace didn't come in. Earnhardt stayed out. That's probably a ploy right there. The Earnhardt team had to stay out till Rusty came in, so Rusty wouldn't get the lead in one of those laps.
Right. Rick Mast and Morgan Shepherd and Jimmy Spencer.
As we speak, here comes Earnhardt down pit road.
And Bill Elliott and Derek Coe. This is Jimmy Spencer's pit. And Dale Earnhardt. There's Terry Labonte in the Kellogg's car.
15, I believe, ran out of gas. So he fought to get that lap back, and they were stretching it, and I believe he's out of fuel. Going in the back pit.
Earnhardt away. A little bit of overfill there on the Spencer car. Glenn?
We got a problem on the left rear tire on Jimmy Spencer's car. The air gun jammed. It would not remove the lug nuts. Boy, this is costing them. I've got the clock on them. It's already been almost 40 seconds. A terrible break. Spencer is pounding the steering wheel. He's really upset, as well he should be. Just one of those things that happens. They still do not have the lug nuts off the left rear. He's going to go a lap down.
Must have rounded the lug nuts off.
Yep.
You know, evidently it rounded the lug nuts off. We did a piece at the top of the show. The smallest piece you can work on a race car, how critical it is.
A lug nut costs about $1. You run through the threads early in the day to make sure they'll go on and off easily. You glue them onto the wheels, check the sockets, check the air guns, and it's for $1 part. Jimmy Spencer will go laps down.
Yeah, you know, just like I said, we talked about at the top of the show, the man doing it over and over and over. And of all things, you know, you got a $25,000 motor and a 95-cent lug nut costing him a chance for the lead.
Dale Jarrett has picked up the lead, as had Kenny Schrader before him, and now comes on to pit road. I believe we're up to 11 different leaders in this race. The record is 12.
Well, you think they're not jumping?
Look at the bite he's putting in that right rear. Did you see that, Neil? That's about a 3-rounder there.
Yeah, we had somebody write in a while ago, call in, want to know what a round of bite was. That's a 1-inch threaded screw that sits right on top of that jack plate, a plate on top of the spring. You just turn pressure down to put more weight on each wheel. 1 round of bite means they turn that screw 1 revolution. A little change is 1, a lot of bites 3 or 4, just like we just saw, buddy.
Yeah, you try to balance this car all day to get it just right for that last 100 miles.
Mark Martin passing Rusty Wallace. Ernie Irvin and Kyle Petty in pursuit. And after green flag pit stops, Harry Gant will again be the leader. You're watching the battle for second. We'll be right back. At Rockingham, Jimmy Spencer made his pit stop. They apparently rounded off a lug nut on the left rear tire and could not get that tire changed. They sent him back out with the same tire he had on when he came in.
You can see the car losing traction as it comes up off the corner there. That's terrible to have 3 brand new tires and 1 that don't hold at all.
Let's get an update from Glenn Jarrett.
Well, we're down here at Spencer's pit. They're going to have to bring him back in. You were right, Neil. They rounded the lug nuts off. They now have a manual wrench to get it off with. They cannot get it off with the air wrench, so they're going to have to take the torque wrench to it. A terrible break. He's going to lose probably another lap. But as you said, buddy, the car is not handling up off the corner. They're going to have to bring him back in, change that left rear tire. They're going to lose at least another lap. Let's go to Ralph.
One way the Childress crew has worked to improve their pit stops. They've installed a video camera in their pit stall. This camera has a lens which is mounted at the end of a pole that hangs right over their pit stall. They videotape every one of their stops during a race, then go back to the shop after the race is over. Once there, the crew sits down and takes a look at the videotape, critiques their pit stops, make an improvement.
There's a look at Earnhardt, who is currently in 11th place. Still on the lead lap here. Harry Gant up front, Mark Martin, Rusty Wallace, Ernie Irvin, and Kyle Petty, your top 5. And the report is that Jimmy Spencer will be back into pit road.
And here he comes in right now. He's fixing to turn down off the track. And what happens is that socket that they use for the pit stop is kind of sloppy. It's not a real snug fit on that nut where you can get on it off and easy. They're going to go back with a 6-point, really tight socket, try to get it.
Here's Glenn.
Well, you're right, Neil. They are going after with the air wrench and the 6-point socket this time. It doesn't appear that he's no, that won't work either. They have to take the torque wrench to it. The regular left rear tire change was right. They still can't get it off. Boy, this is terrible. 2 different guys trying. Neither one of them have much success right now. Finally, they get that tire off. The new one goes on. Boy, what a costly thing to happen. Tough break to get it.
23.5 seconds. Spencer had already gone just shy of being 2 laps down, so he'll be 3 down at this point in a car that might have been good enough to win this race.
Well, it's a shame that stronger car and something like that happened.
I hate it for Bobby. You know, Bobby's run very well here, and I'm sure he had a lot of input on his race car as far as handling on it. And it's just a shame to see him run that well all day and have some weird thing like that happen. But meanwhile, 33, only like 8.5 of putting Dale Earnhardt a full lap down. So he's got to pick up the pace if he can. Earnhardt I'm talking about, not Gant. He's running away right now.
Last car on the lead lap is Sterling Marlin. He is 15th. Rick Mast is 14th. 13th is Darrell Waltrip. 12th is Ricky Rudd. Earnhardt is 11th.
But if Gant picks up the pace any, they'll have to widen the track out. He's using about all he can and going just about as hard as he can go.
You see, he's just put a lap on Morgan Shepherd in the Wood Brothers car. Shepherd now 16th.
Look at this. I'm telling you, he gets up there. You know, when you're in the race car and you go above that top line, you like to have a little bit of room. We've seen cars slip and slide all day long. Well, if you're down there a lane, you'll let the car slip a whole lane up, and we've seen people recover. Once you get up there and you're above that lane and the car breaks loose, you're going to recover, but you'll be over in the infield hospital.
Top lane. You come down here, run to Buck Baker School at Rockingham. You get up above that second white line, they call you in and talk to you for about 30 minutes.
Well, they better get Gandy and talk to him for an hour. Running up there in a very, oh, look here, coming off the corner. Boy, there was Gant with something go around the outside. We're looking through the Citgo car, Morgan Shepherd. Gant went around 3 wide, right around the top.
You know, when we do teach down here, we do teach that top line too. Because a lot of times, you know, you have to go up there. But that's an advanced student we do. We don't take a beginner up there. You have to know where you're at.
Advanced student with a large deposit.
You got it.
Right.
With a wreck clause.
Yep. 233 laps. Hut Strickland will pit the McDonald's car of Junior Johnson. Running in 22nd spot. He's just gone 2 laps down and comes in for tires.
There's Kenny Schrader, 4th place right now. Car's running well. He's just not running as well as Gant.
And back at 8th place, Dick Trickle, Derek Cope, and Dale Jarrett go at it. And they'll move past Trickle. Put him into 10th place. Cope and Jarrett have been going at it like this for the last 50 laps or so.
Yeah, Cope hadn't had a whole lot of slack. He raced the 28 for a long time. Then he's been with Dale Jarrett for a long time. Just continuously battling with someone for position. There's Jarrett trying around. See if he can just get the nose up there. All you want to do is get the nose up and make that man have to give you that blind. That's what he did. He got out there. 98 saw him out and had to let him have that outside line off the corner.
There's a look at it from up high from our Raybestos aerial platform. Raybestos, the best in brakes. Gives you these pictures.
You know, a race that's this long, you need somebody to race with. I used to just pick somebody and get into a race with them if I could, because I tell you what, it's hard to concentrate as long as you stay out here. Neil, you had a lot of success here, but you know you can't. If you just lose your concentration just for a second, coming off second corner there will bite you just like you'd never been here before.
I'll tell you, this race right here will almost do you like a tire test. You go to a lot of tracks, say you come down here and you're going to run a tire test, and they'll say, go run 100 laps out there for us, and we'll come back and check the tires. Well, you get to running so long by yourself, and it just is boring. I mean, the fun about racing is having somebody around you to mix it up with. If they come down here and just say run 100 laps, it's pretty easy to wreck the car doing that by yourself.
I'd say the way Harry Gant's sliding that car up towards that wall, he has no time to think about anything but what he's doing right now.
I think you're right.
Well, he's probably trying to figure which house he's going to build next.
Or a new roof.
And carpenter in the way all the time.
You know, these stories keep going, but I wonder if there's a house left in Taylorsville that doesn't have a new roof on it.
I think that's what he does in spare time. You need a roof, just call Harry Gant Taylorsville. He'll roof your house for the fun of it.
Just for the exercise.
They did follow him home from a race at Dover one time and found out he actually was doing roofs the next day, so he's just not talking just to have something to say.
Yeah, they wanted to interview him. He said, you want to interview me? You come on up here to the top of this roof and do it. They declined.
You know, they joked about that. I saw some stuff again, and he said, people think, he said, you know, I'm just,
Rick Wilson and Dave Marcus almost left here just then.
Oh, yeah, buddy, me and you both saw that at the same time. They were wrecked and just happened to straighten it out.
Riding with Morgan Shepherd behind Harry Gant as we close in on halfway here at Rockingham.
Folks, every once in a while, you just have to take our word for it if we're not showing it, but that was really close to being a wreck.
So we'll stay green, and with that leaderboard, we'll ask you to look carefully and tell us what's wrong with this full-service pit stop in our Polaroid photo fake-out. You could win a great trip to Daytona. TNN Motorsports exclusive coverage of the AC-Delco 500 is brought to you by Buick and your local Buick dealer. Remember Buick, the new symbol for quality in America.
Harry Gant has radioed into his crew saying that the number 33 is getting extremely loose. He has received a bad set of tires, he told the crew, and he wants them to change them. What happens to tires here at Rockingham is that they do get abused, but not in the way that you're used to them. They don't get chewed up. They just get really, really hot. The hotter these tires get, the less adhesion that they get. When they get real hot like that, they start slipping and sliding, and that is where it gets real tough for a driver to hang on. At this point, all Harry Gant can do is try to hold on until he gets a chance to come in for 4 new ones.
Gant's hanging on to the lead. 25 laps ago, it was 9.8 seconds. Now it's down to 5.5 over Mark Martin, Rusty Wallace, and Kenny Schrader. But watch Lake Speed. He is up outside the Harry Gant crew.
Mike, he's got the fastest car on the racetrack. He made that lap up a while ago, and I'm not sure, but it looked like he ran out of fuel, and he lost a lap. And now he's coming back again. But this is one to wait. And then in 3 and 4, he's 6 foot higher than Gant.
Watch him this time as he goes down the back straightaway and heads for turn 3.
This has to make Bud Moore really happy because it takes a driver to understand that racetrack changes and you have to do whatever it takes to make your car better than everybody else.
That's the lowest I saw him go through 3 and 4 in the last 20 laps.
Yeah, he had 2 wheels on one of the white lines. But Lake Speed is 1 lap down at present.
But look how he's going around everybody. He's got that thing working in the top, and I mean, he's flying. He's been going, as he enters this corner here, he's been going, I mean, right up on the wall. See if he gets up there this time.
Yeah.
He's up some, but that's nothing like he's been being up there.
And just ahead of him, Mark Martin and Rusty Wallace on the lead lap. As Speed catches that pack of traffic, they work underneath Jeff Gordon. And Gordon right now, among the rookies, Bobby Labonte is 2 laps down. Jeff Gordon is 4 laps down, and Kenny Wallace has gone to the garage.
If Gant's fading just a little bit, this is Rusty Wallace's chance to be concerned about leading the lap for the points. He's right there with Mark Martin, and they're both gaining on Gant. If he can stick with Mark, he'll have a chance to race Mark for that position to get those bonus points.
Kenny Schrader follows them through. Yeah, Wallace needs to lead a lap here.
You know, Neil, we need to touch on something. You see these cars racing like that, and you see the 2 car behind. That might make his car handle better. He might have some reason that he needs to run close in second behind another car, where when he's in front, maybe the car would push or something like that. to free the car up when you're second car. So he may be doing just what it takes to get himself up there and try to get that 5-point bonus.
Yeah, sometimes the guy's car won't work when you wave him off of you. Boy, just we say that, the 2 went around the 6.
Yep. Second place changed hands. Here comes Schrader on the outside. Watch on the right side of Mark Martin. Kenny Schrader's going to make the pass here for third.
Looks like Mark broke loose all of a sudden. And there's that 15. You know, he made a lap earlier. He's coming back. He's got a chance to get it back again.
Lake Speed taking the long way around as he chases Mark Martin. Martin now the 4th place car. Rusty Wallace has moved up to 2nd.
Look at Lake Speed. He looks like he's going in the corner 10 miles an hour faster than the 6th car.
I'll take you back. Sorry, take you back to 9th place, Neil, where Dick Trickle continues to battle Kyle Petty and Dale Earnhardt. Although Kyle now.
Looks like they both was going to use the same part of the racetrack there for just a minute.
Yeah, 9th place.
We talked earlier that they were in danger enough. Excuse me, gaining on Earnhardt, put him a lap down. He's picked the pace up a little bit.
One of the big topics of conversation this week, whether Kyle Petty will be the top Pontiac team this year, whether Rusty Wallace will move, or the Penske operation will move to Ford. This group here is only 6 seconds away from being lapped by Harry Gant.
Yeah, they need to pick that pace up just a little bit more, don't you?
Yeah, I would say, you know, they were talking about Gant fading a little bit. He might be fading to the guys running second, but he's still running this pack down. And we see Trickle pulling up on the 26 car, Brett Bodine.
This has to be a terrible race for Brett Bodine. He's still got that apparatus on his right arm, you know, and a broken arm at Rockingham is not something we want. Whoa, look at here.
I'll tell you what, that thing you're talking about on his arm too, buddy, that's a nasty looking mess, all that adjustment stuff. Like you say, I don't see how he does as good a job as he can in that car.
Earnhardt and Trickle found that spot to get together just a few seconds ago. Made us jump right out of our seat up here.
Pretty good bit of contact getting down in that corner.
Well, somebody had to give Earnhardt the better get going sign because Harry Gant's coming. They're only 4 seconds from being lapped right now. That's why Earnhardt put the move on and picked it up. Let's show you that again.
Here they go down in the corner right here.
Okay, Earnhardt had a lot of momentum going. He just ran right in the back of Trickle.
Wow.
That's good car controller. He could have took Earnhardt right up to the top wall with him.
Yep. Really just about turn Trickle around, getting in that corner.
So Earnhardt motors on, trying to keep from being lapped. The leader is Harry Gant. Second is Rusty Wallace, and third is Kenny Schrader. We asked part-time crew member Don DeCecco how he got started in racing. Winston Cup racing down south here.
I got started in racing about 1986 with Pearson. Larry and David Pearson ran a Busch schedule for several years. Then we moved up to Winston Cup. Now I just gas a 25 car on the weekends. I work at electrical supply house during the week. I do this on the weekend. Kind of enjoy motorcycles and physical fitness, weightlifting, things like that.
Harry Gant's lead now stands at 4.4 seconds over Rusty Wallace, Ken Schrader, Mark Martin, and Bill Elliott. Dale Jarrett, Derek Cope is 7th, Ernie Irvin is 8th, Dale Earnhardt and Darrell Waltrip is 10th. Dick Trickle, 11th, is the last car on the lead lap. Here's the race for second, and a few moments ago, Rusty Wallace got into the back of Jimmy Means, and that allowed Schrader to come right up alongside Wallace for second place. They are closing in very gradually on Harry Gant. Sterling Marlin makes a pit stop. They change a right side tire. And let's show you Dale Earnhardt, who is back in 9th place. There are 11 cars on the lead lap. So as you go back from Earnhardt, Kyle Petty making a stop. He's just been lapped. Earnhardt's only 3.8 seconds from being lapped. Behind him is 10th place Darrell Waltrip. And back behind Waltrip, 11th place Dick Trickle. And bright day-glow green Mannheim car. And then behind Trickle is going to be Harry Gant.
Well, Gant just got around him, Mike, as they entered that corner.
Right.
He just ran up on Trickle. Trickle gave him room, and Gant went on around.
Kyle Petty after a stop.
Boy, for him to be so good here at all the past races lately, he just went a lap down. As soon as he went down, he jumped in for those tires.
At second place, Schrader had a try at Rusty Wallace.
And he's going to have another try. For somebody to be having trouble, Gant sure is not in this picture. He's losing a little bit of ground, but
that's what I was thinking. We don't even show him he's running so good right now. We're more interested in this race going on right here. Kenny Schrader's really giving him all he can stand here.
Make no mistake, they're catching Harry Gant. They're only 3.6 seconds behind him now.
Look, here's Lake Speed.
Lake Speed.
Look how high he's running this racetrack. He comes off that corner. He's got a lot rolling in his direction there. He gets around these two guys, and you catch Gant, he'll get that lap back.
Now, he just passed Rick Mast. That was for position. That was for 12th place.
You notice one thing. When you go through the second corner there, part of the racetrack's in shade right now. That normally picks the speed up a little bit, so that higher line will work a lot better as the sun gets off of that part of the racetrack. Now, when he goes into 1 and 2, you'll be able to see what I was talking about.
Well, I'll tell you, he doesn't have any margin for error up there where he's at.
Watch down in just about right halfway through this corner. See the shaded area there? That should be a lot quicker than down where the sun's on it. As he puts Rusty Wallace behind him.
He needs to get around Schrader and then catch Gant. That's putting him back in that lead lap. He pulled this trick off earlier once today, and they had that problem just before that caution and lost that lap again.
Well, they're in the same straightaway as Gant, who is also running way up on the top of the racetrack. Now Schrader's trying it.
That'll become very popular as Harry Gant starts lapping people.
They move past Dick Trickle. And now 3.7 seconds first to second as Ernie Irvin comes to pit road. The number 3 starter who led all but 6 laps at Charlotte 2 weeks ago.
If they do any chassis work on the car, we see them changing tires. See that wrench pulling those lug nuts off, spitting them out on the ground.
And Dick Trickle is pitted as well. Norman Koshimizu. Oh, just got that second can in there.
Looks like the car hesitated just a minute as he took off.
You've seen the guy with the catch can in the back of the race car right on the very end there. When they see gas come back out of that filler there, they know they're full, so that's enough gas for the stop.
Well, it looked like they had some trouble in that left rear.
One crewman swinging the air wrench at the car as it goes away.
Yeah, this moment there, I don't know what the problem was.
Trickle getting back up to speed.
A little bit of vapor fuel coming out of that thing, the very top of that vent tube coming out.
There's Harry Gant, your leader. We'll go back and pick up second place, where Kenny Schrader is trying to gain ground, but he's got his hands full with Lake Speed.
What's going to happen here? He's going to have to give Lake some room on that outside. That's going to make Schrader pinch his car. See, Schrader couldn't use that full swing up off of that corner like you would want to do.
Tell you what, they're pretty even right now. He's going to have to find a little more than that to get by him.
But he's making Schrader, he's not making the Schrader's courteous enough to give him that outside line. And it's making Schrader kind of pinch his car a little more than he wants to. See, the 28 car just got 4 tires. Right. Fix to show you how much difference 4 tires make right here, folks. See, they'll go by these two like they're tied to a tree with fresh tires on it.
Yeah, Ernie Irvin with fresh tires can put that car any place he wants.
Yeah, say like right here.
Yep. Like 3 wide.
Yeah, you couldn't do that on old tires, believe me. You took them both out.
I hope Lake didn't judge off the 28 getting down in this corner.
Not on those old tires he's on.
Well, that forward bite's important from the center of that corner off, believe me.
Lake did make that pass on Schrader. There he's got that one car, the 33 car in front of him, to get his lap back. Boy, I tell you, it makes you feel good. You go out there on these new tires and everybody else slipping and sliding for you, just killing everybody for a while.
Harry Hyde once told me, he said he'd make Goodyear send back some more trucks if they brought all the tires I wanted for a 500-mile race down here.
Here's the 6th place car, Dale Jarrett. You see his march up through the field. Started 21st today. He's now up to 6th place. There are 9 cars on the lead lap. The last of those, Darrell Waltrip.
Well, right in front of Waltrip, not 5 car lengths in front of him, is Dale Earnhardt. And here comes Gant. He's gaining on him.
I'd like to say hello to Robin Emerson. We all miss you, boy. Wish you was here with us.
We miss Randy, too.
Randy I'm talking
He's
about.
our regular pit reporter.
I do that once a race anyhow, Randy.
Robin's on pit road. Randy recovering from back surgery. We asked J.D. Gibbs how he got involved in his dad's race team that Dale Jarrett drives for.
Actually, I went to a few races here and there. Really, I went to a lot of drag races growing up. But until 3 years ago, really, I didn't have a whole lot of interest in watching some of the weekends like most people. But it's a lot different from the inside. It's a lot of fun.
Okay. Welcome back to Rockingham. I'm Mike Joy with Neil Bonnet and Buddy Baker, Glenn Jarrett, and Ralph Shaheen. In the pits today as you watch the 2nd and 3rd place cars, Kenny Schrader and Rusty Wallace. Wallace has not led today. Dale Earnhardt has, and that's 5 important Winston Cup points. But Wallace is in a better position than Earnhardt right now because Harry Gant is closing fast on Earnhardt. Here's the way they're running. Gant, Schrader, Wallace, Martin, and Elliott. Front 5, Dale Jarrett, Derek Cope, Darrell Waltrip, Dale Earnhardt, and Lake Speed. A moment ago, Ricky Rudd came in, got 4 tires, and Brett Bodine took the Quaker State Ford to the garage. Earnhardt is pitting. As Gant puts him a lap down, Earnhardt comes to pit road.
They reported that Brett Bodine lost a valve spring. Probably dropped the valve down there and maybe did some damage to the top of the piston.
4 tires and fuel.
We saw Arnie Irvan put those tires on that 28, how critical it was while it goes speed-wise. Gant was lapping these guys, so they come and get them set.
21.2 seconds for Dale Earnhardt. Morgan Shepherd is also stopped.
Boy, that's hard to keep a car that slow down pit road. Look at him. He just looks like he's snail crawling out of there.
Trying to see what it does position-wise on the track. The guy, when he makes green stops, lose a lot of ground. 16 car coasting on the inside of the track.
Wally Donovan has been about 30 laps down. So Nemechek hitting the Kodak car. 4 seconds is Harry Gant's lead over Ken Schrader and Rusty Wallace.
Guys, what would y'all do to Harry Gant's car if he wanted something changed when he come in? I'd just have to act like I did something, wouldn't you?
Well, he's telling him how bad it is.
He's been second 3 times in this race. Has yet to win it. Take just nice little bites out of that steering wheel just to use that car around. Wallace for 2nd place.
Now this could be critical right here. He gets around the 25 car. Now if Gant comes in, he's led that lap.
Yeah.
If he's sitting right behind the 25, Gant pits, he still hasn't led a lap. So that pass might pay off here in the next few laps if Gant comes on in. And I just about bet you Buddy Parrott and those guys will try to stretch it far enough past Gant where they can lead a lap.
Todd Bodine making a stop. Here's Ralph.
Leo Jackson is the crew chief and owner for Harry Gant. Leo, why are you staying out so long if Harry is slipping and sliding on those tires?
Well, you know, if we pit, we'll be down a lot for some of those cars, so we'll wait till they pit.
How long can you go before it actually gets really desperate? How long can you go before it really gets desperate?
We go to about lap 305.
They've got a ways to go yet.
Yeah, that's about 15 laps from now. Todd Bodine makes a stop. Bobby Labonte hitting the Maxwell House coffee pot of Bill Davis.
If he runs on those tires 15 more laps, Earnhardt's going to make up a lot of distance, you know. Although he is a few laps down now, if the caution comes out, it would change everything. But right now, Earnhardt's on fresh tires, and he's motoring right along.
Jeff Bodine makes a stop. Bobby Hillen has made a pit stop in the back, on the backside. Back pits.
He just monitored Mark Martin. They say he's coming in this lap. He's going to get 4 tires and 3/4 of a round to bite. They're cutting it close. You start making that small of adjustment.
Rusty Wallace started 18th. Up to second place, but he has not led the race today.
There's Mark Martin. He picked up the radio. Sure enough, he come in this lap. He's going to get 4, a little bit of bite.
This race is 492 laps. We're at 294 right now. For Mark Martin, it's going to be real close if they can make it on one more stop. Hands the drink bottle out, changes it for a fresh one. A couple of cars think they might be able to go the distance on one more stop if they stretch this one out. And that may be the answer to Ralph Shaheen's question. If Harry Gant can stay out there, win this thing on gas mileage, not that he needs to the way he's running.
Revving it up there, getting ready to go. Their heads out. That's a 4-year-old car. They said they wrecked several cars. And that's a car that's 4 years old. They had to pull it out of mothballs to bring it in. Okay, here comes the 2-car in now.
He will not wait for Harry Gant. So here is Rusty Wallace. Let's go to Glenn.
Rusty Wallace brings the Miller Genuine Draft Pontiac in. As we know, this is the best pit crew in the business. I've got the clock on them and see how fast they do. This will be a 4-tire change. The right sides are off. He's taking the left sides off now. They're coming around with the jack. We're up to 14 seconds. This looks to be a little slower than normal. Normally they do this in about 18, 19 seconds, but not to be that quick. He's down and away in 21 seconds. Ralph?
Glenn, they did not wait till lap 305. Instead, Harry Gant comes in around lap 298. The crew will put on 4 new tires and fill the car up with fuel. No adjustments are being made to the chassis. As soon as they get the windshield cleaned, the grill wiped off, and left side tires on, Harry Gant will return.
Under 20 seconds for Harry Gant.
You know, Neil, that's just what I told you. I knew they wasn't going to stay out there 15 more laps on those used tires because they're losing a lot of ground to people who stopped just before that.
Yeah, you know, they said that they were going to, they didn't want to come in before the rest of them did. When Rusty Wallace turned in, I felt like they probably felt like they had that door open to do it themselves.
Derek Cope, Dale Jarrett, and Ken Schrader in the pits this lap. NASCAR official monitoring those lug nuts, making sure they all get tight. And here's Darrell Waltrip in. The Schrader comes out. 4 tires for Dale Jarrett. Here's Glenn.
Well, Dale Jarrett's in the right side of the thing. He's got it away. Good pit stop. 19.28 seconds. These guys have had a little trouble this year. But, buddy, that was a good one. They gained some ground on the other cars with that stop.
Ken Schrader led a couple of laps here. Rusty Wallace did not. But we'll see how they sort out after they come back out from this round of green flag stops. I believe Darrell Waltrip may have led a lap by staying out on the track that long. I'll tell you, Derek Cope got a good stop from Cale Yarborough's crew, 18.9 seconds. They've been tough all day. Waltrip on fresh tires, as is Gant. Darrell trying to get back on the lead lap. As we're 300 of 492 in the books here at Rockingham. We'll be back to the North Carolina Motor Speedway and the AC-Delco 500 live on TNN after this. TNN Motorsports coverage of the AC-Delco 500 is brought to you by Coors Light. Aged ice cold for that pure taste of the Rockies. Reach for the silver bullet, the right beer now. Here's the way they're running at Rockingham. Harry Gant leading Rusty Wallace, Kenny Schrader, Ernie Irvin, and Mark Martin. And at the bottom of that top 10, Darrell Waltrip trying desperately to get his lap back from Harry Gant. Here he goes. See if he can make it stick. Jimmy Spencer makes a pit stop. Oh, Gant's going to hold him off again. It got closer than that just a couple of moments ago. We'll show you here in a minute. As Waltrip, the 10th place car, struggles to get back on the lead lap and does.
Yeah. This was just about 2 laps ago. Waltrip was trying to get that lap back. Gets down in the corner, gets into the back of Gant. Gant's hanging on. Waltrip's trying to get that lap back. A little shoving here. Waltrip did make the pass a couple laps later. But you touched on something. What seems to take Gant a few laps after the tires get hot before he really gets to rolling.
Yeah, he has to get up in that top groove up there and get the RPMs up on that car.
Another thing to think about, too, we were talking about earlier, Gant had just lapped Dale Earnhardt when he turned down the pits. Gant ran 11 more laps, and Earnhardt got 8.5 seconds ahead of him. Right now, Earnhardt's 8 seconds in front of him just from 11 laps of fresh tires. So I don't know if these people can afford to stretch those stops like they did this last time.
No, I think we'll see everybody making at least 2 more pit stops.
It's hard to believe that in 11 laps, a guy can make them 8 seconds, but they really, new tires must be killers.
I thought I said that.
Okay.
Trouble
in turn 3.
That looks like Jimmy Horton, hard up into the wall. Boy, Horton has had a tough time coming back after he flew out of the park at Talladega late in July. And what a break for Darrell Waltrip. He gets his lap back from Harry Gant.
All that fighting paid off.
Yes. It's also a break for Earnhardt. And that shortened up the rear end of the active trucking Miles concrete Chevy of Jimmy Horton. Horton looks like he'll be able to continue.
Problem that's for the fuel area. Got it after he's already backed it up into the fence. Looped the car getting down in 3 and backed her up in the wall.
Well, do you give up track position and stop here if you just got tires 10 or 15 minutes ago?
I think they got to, Mike. We saw how much new tires made a difference. Here the leaders turned down just as we're talking about. They're coming in front pits. Here's all the leaders in.
May have been contact between Dale Jarrett and Jimmy Horton.
Well, that changes the whole war. The whole thing changes now. It brought everybody back together again, making adjustments.
This is the kind of pit stops that caution that car owners don't like a whole lot. They just put $1,200 worth on 8 laps ago. They get to do it again now.
That's right. One full set of tires and you went 11 laps on them. And
that's what Hoss Ellington told me one time. He said, if they throw one more caution, I'm going to sneak over there and steal that yellow flag.
Here's Glenn.
Got a little problem on Dale Jarrett. Rusty Wallace came in, got 4 tires, was down and away, but they had some problems on the right side with Dale Jarrett. That's going to put him, I believe, at the back of the field as far as the cars on the lead lap. He did beat Ernie Irvin out, but costly pit stop that time.
The Daytona 500 winner. And we are under caution for the 8th time today. Cars more than a lap down. You see now peeling off to pit lane. And Todd Bodine changed his mind.
Yeah, I was noticing he changed his mind right there at the grass.
Yep.
Come back across.
Ray Bestis, Best in Brakes, bringing you these aerial shots at the North Carolina Motor Speedway. From here, we go to Phoenix. 1 week from today. The next to last Winston Cup race, and then the following Sunday will be at Hickory, North Carolina with Busch Grand National Racing. Dale Jarrett back in another time. Look at that left side. Glenn?
They're working on the left rear tire. They weren't sure that they got the lug nuts completely tight because they had that problem on the right side. Now they are looking up under the car. He did make contact with Jimmy Horton. Looks like minimal damage. They're looking up under the car. You can see where he has run over something on the racetrack. So they're taking no chances. They're using this caution to make sure everything is okay. We'll get a further update on it.
This was a big lap for Rusty Wallace. He led it.
Oh, man.
Buddy Parrott and the new world champion pit crew got Wallace out first, so he is the race leader, and he gets 5 Winston Cup bonus points.
Boy, that crew, I tell you, all year long, I think it would just been a shock if they didn't win the championship in this contest yesterday.
So we're under caution here for the 8th time today. Ted Musgrave there drafting off the safety car. 10 cars on the lead lap. Here they are. Wallace, Schrader, Gant, Elliott, and Martin. Earnhardt, Petty, Waltrip, Jarrett, and Irvin. The Sandhills of North Carolina. Good golf. Some good fishing. And definitely some good racing, as we've seen here at the Rock today. 314, make that now 315 laps complete as they come past, and in one more lap they'll be racing. Let's show you the cars that are on the lead lap as we get ready to go back to green. And they form up double file. Cars a lap or more down line up on the inside here. Lead lap cars in the outside row.
I'll tell you something to watch for on this restart. Jimmy Spencer is going to be the first car on that inside line. We know how fast his car has been all day long. He's going to try to get that lap back.
Well, Ted Musgrave was right up against the bumper of the pace car. He'll peel off and make a pit stop now. I would bet Musgrave may try to stretch this on just one more stop and try to improve his standing, which currently is 31st.
Well, I'm going to bet you Spencer's going to give the 2-car a run for the money on this restart to try to get one of those laps back.
Jimmy Spencer is 2 laps down in the Meineke Muffler's number 12 Ford, and he'll be alongside Rusty Wallace. Wallace is the leader. Ken Schrader is second. Harry Gant is third. Bill Elliott is fourth. And fifth is Mark Martin. Sixth, Dale Earnhardt. Seventh, Kyle Petty. Eighth, Darrell Waltrip. Ninth is Ernie Irvin, and 10th, Dale Jarrett.
There's Spencer trying to keep that inside line where he can get that lap back on Rusty Wallace. Got to jump off that corner.
I believe he's going to make it.
He's going to run him hard to get that lap. Spencer's got one of them back if he can stay there.
Wallace out in front of the rest of the field, and Spencer gets one of his 2 laps back from the race leader. Rick Mast got a good restart. He's the first of the cars 1 lap down in 11th place. The 3rd car in line is Rick Mast. 18th race Rusty Wallace has led this year.
Boy, I tell you, that crew does such a good job. They'll get him out front, and then Rusty seems, once they get that lead for him, I mean, he fights to stay up there.
Earnhardt and Derek Cope go at it. And Sterling Marlin. Marlin is 1 lap down. And now they're posting Derek Cope a lap behind. Mark Martin trying under Dick Trickle. And here comes Wallace back after Spencer.
Well, that's a strong move. Look at Wallace trying the outside groove to go by. Of course, we've seen Harry Gant make it work all day, so why wouldn't it work?
Rusty's going to give up some of his big lead right here.
Yeah, and I think he feels like he needs to get on around Spencer so he can stretch it out a little bit if he possibly can. The bunch is coming behind him. He sees Gant coming right in the rearview mirror.
Yep, Gant is back up to 2nd place.
6-car Mark Martin. There's 11 Bill Elliott. 3-car Earnhardt right behind him. Now Rusty's on the inside. He's had to do it outside all the time. Now he's got that inside away from Spencer.
If I'd go past Jimmy, I'd want to do it on the bottom.
Yes. eight wheels corner better than 4. Right?
Yes, sir. They've got the lead away. He hadn't heard all of Spencer. He's going to battle for that position.
Rick Mast trying to stay right up with the leaders. In 11th place, 1 lap down. Martin and Earnhardt go past him. Report of some tire smoke it could be off the right rear of Dale Jarrett's car. He's one of those on the lead lap.
Spencer's trying back on the front up there again. Here's a 6-car trying to get under Trickle.
And there's Dale Jarrett. You see that little bit of smoke? There it is. A lot of smoke now on the right rear.
There goes Spencer back up on the inside again. I think they're going to... Oh, man, is he loose.
And here comes Gant.
Spencer's battling him away for that position.
See Ricky Rudd in the picture, number 5. He's up to 11th now, having gone past Rick Mast.
Oh, me, Spencer made a run off that corner.
Wonder why they call him Mr. Excitement?
Right there's a good example of how loose a car can be, and that guy can always seem to handle it.
And while they're playing around there in the bottom, watch him from the top.
And here comes Schrader on the bottom, too.
Yep.
Now, Spencer is now 2 laps behind the leader. That puts him a lap behind Ricky Rudd, 2 laps behind the 2 cars coming up, Schrader and Gant. 324 laps are complete. 168 to go. And Dale Earnhardt is closing on the leader. We'll pick up his progress when we come back. The battle has been at second place. Harry Gant has it, and Dale Earnhardt has moved up past Ken Schrader. Now you see Mark Martin's Valvoline Ford underneath Schrader. That's for third place. Down the back straightaway. That's the way they're running at this moment. All these cars on the lead lap. Here's Martin getting underneath Schrader, and he's going to tow Bill Elliott right along for the ride. Elliott's in 6th, and then Ricky Rudd, who is 11th, 1 lap down. Earnhardt, 3.5 seconds behind Rusty Wallace.
His car seems to be real quick on these fresh tires. They ran that long run a while ago, and he was virtually got lapped by him just as he pitted. So, well, they got to be concerned about having some tires left after the end of this run. Well, look at Mark and 25 car going in back here. Bill Elliott.
There's that glare into turn number 1.
Boy, that pretty well shows it right there. That's why you see so many people running in the back of people going in 1 and 2.
There are still most likely 2 pit stops for all the leaders.
Yeah, you might see some people flirt with that stop like you're talking about. Musgrave waited for the very last while ago. Some people might try to stretch it. I don't know that the new tires won't bury them anyway. Lose so much time.
I don't know whether you noticed how fast Mark Martin's car is going down the straightaway, but watch him down the middle of the straightaway catch the Stoll car. Looks like a pretty good run.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, see Harry?
Yeah.
Just slither up the
Mark's
racetrack.
a little bit quicker now on the bottom side of the racetrack.
Here's your Napa Field standing update brought to you by Napa, because there are no unimportant parts. Where they are right now. First 10 cars will be on the lead lap.
I want to change my pick. I think.
Oh, good.
I think the 6th car might have the edge right at the moment.
How many more times do you want to be able to change it before we're done here?
I won't do like Neil. I won't get the leader every time.
Okay.
They run a long green run. Can't be back in this thing. It seems like these little short spurts. At these cautions, he's just not up to speed.
I think you're right.
He's almost up to the bumper of that 11 car. They were getting close coming off that corner.
Bill Elliott and Ernie Irvin moving in. They lap past Dave Marcus. Harry leaves him a lot of room down there.
Well, Harry, really, they might have made a little chassis change. You know, he was complaining the race car not doing well, but he's not running like he was just before they had the caution.
If he made a change, you better put it back, because he was kicking them a while ago.
Of the 3 makes actively participating in the sport, they've each won 9 races this year. Pontiac, Chevrolet, and Ford each with 9 victories. Today he'll break that deadlock, and then, of course, 2 races to go, Phoenix and Atlanta.
You know, we were talking about Dan a while ago running that high line. Not only do the tires and the way your car's handling, it takes a pretty good rhythm to be able to run that. But you got to have a lot of confidence. You got to know how hard you can go in and slide right up that wall. And he had that rhythm down and was just wearing them out up there. It might take him just a while to get that car doing the same thing he was doing before. There's Trickle trying to get by on the inside.
Yeah, he's 1 lap down in the 41 car, chasing Ricky Rudd. Sterling Marlin up there is also 1 lap down. That's a battle. 5 and 8, that's for position. Move back and pick up Bill Elliott and Ernie Irvin. They are 5th and 6th.
Here comes Rusty Wallace off the corner right here. Big lead built up.
338 laps complete at Rockingham. Here's your top 10, all on the lead lap. Rusty Wallace now leads Dale Earnhardt by 5.7 seconds. With 150 laps to go, Harry Gant has drifted back to 7th place.
Boy, oh boy. I don't know whether they made a change or not, but he's not running like he was before the stop.
Let's go to Ralph.
Mike, Goodyear brought 3 of these giant tractors down to Rockingham full of tires, 900 of which were right-side tires. As you can see over my shoulder, there are no more right-side tires available to the team. If you are out of right-side tires, you hope you have a friend on pit lane who will sell you some.
Mike, I think I shall leave the booth and go down and negotiate the price of tires for right sides. I'll be back shortly.
They run a different compound rubber on the left than on the right side tires, and the tires are stamped to indicate which compound they have. You're not allowed to put left side tires on the right side of the car. Glenn?
Neil, stay there. The reason they're on the right side tires is all these lead cars have bought them all up. I'm in Rusty Wallace's pit. He's got 5 sets. Next door, Dale Jarrett's got 4 sets. So even though Goodyear has no more, most of the lead teams do have enough right side tires to get them through the race. Save your steps, Neil.
I heard you breathing hard. You tried to run down and do a deal.
Well, in Akron, they'll call that good inventory control. Bring just enough to where everybody wants some.
When they say they're out, that trailer's out, but I guarantee they got some laying behind that wall, but they'll be at a premium for a while.
Watching Harry Gant in 7th place ahead of Darrell Waltrip, Dale Jarrett, and Kyle Petty. They're all on the lead lap. Sterling Marlin has passed Ricky Rudd. That's for 11th. 1 lap down. Rudd is 12th. Dick Trickle is 13th. Jeff Bodine is 14th, and Rick Mast is 15th. That's all a pretty good battle. And here are the 3rd and 4th place cars.
Yeah, Bill Elliott is gaining on Mark Martin right now.
It's been one of Elliott's stronger runs this year. He has been in the hunt all day.
Qualified right up front. Been there all day long, just never taken the lead, but he's been right there knocking on the door.
But it's been nearly a year since he's been to Victory Lane, Atlanta, last November. Mark Martin, one of the 4 drivers that have won every race since mid-June. Wallace, Earnhardt, and Irvin, the others.
You let these guys get running good, they'll get real greedy. They'll get all they can.
You know, talking about that, Bill Elliott, he's been in some real dogfights to win this thing several times here, and he knows what it takes. I wouldn't count him out at all.
See the 28 car back behind Elliott. He's working his way up to this group right now.
And where there are 10 cars on the lead lap, there may soon be 9. Elliott dives to the inside on Martin. And Ernie Irvin moves up.
What you've seen there is a little give and take. The 6th car seen that Bill Elliott was just a little bit faster right now, and he just let him go when he got up beside of him there, rather than to fight him down in that corner.
And that's a smart move, too. You know, Elliott was going to try to get around him. If they fight for 4 or 5 laps, they use up more tires on each car and lose ground. So the best thing to do, move over, let him go, and then fall in behind him.
Kyle Petty has dropped to within 5 seconds of being lapped. He's the 10th place car and the last car on the lead lap. Just ahead of the Keystone Ford of Wally Dallenbach there. Harry Gant and Kenny Schrader are going to fight it out here for 6th place.
Well, let's see where Harry's at right now. He's still up there. 3 stories high, folks, but he's getting the job done. He's starting to pick up again, just like you said, you know, starting to pull up.
Yeah, I think before he was Schrader gotten around him, and now as it starts coming back, he's back in front of Schrader again.
Let's check with Ralph.
Harry Gant has his crew completely baffled here this afternoon. No matter what they do tire-wise, he just doesn't seem to be happy. He has radioed in and said that for the rest of the race, whenever they make a tire change, he wants to make sure he gets sticker tires only. And Neil, I gotta ask you, can a driver be too finicky when it comes to a tire situation? Could Harry be maybe oversensitive to the tires today?
Well, Ralph, I'll tell you what, just like Gant was talking about earlier, he said, I'm loose, but I'm leading the race. Even if you're leading the race, you want to make the car better. I mean, I'm just went to that part about being greedy. You might be wearing them out and pulling away from the field, but if you think you can improve on that car, you request that in the pits. And I'm telling you, if you don't cater to that guy behind the seat, he knows you go a different direction, you're not going to get the performance from him, are you, buddy?
And the other thing, Neil, is sticker tires are about 4/10 quicker. That's the other thing. You put old scuffed tires on there, man, you'd be out to lunch. So you do need stickers every time. And I don't think a driver's ever too finicky. He's trying to do the thing that'll take him to the winner's circle.
I've had guys stand in the pits before, look at my car, you'd be out there running and say, you're loose. Well, the guy sitting in the seat knows if you're loose. I would think you'd have a better feel for it from somebody looking out there on the track. So if you're going to race at this level, you better believe what that driver says and try to cater to him as best possible.
And that's one of the toughest things about being a driver in this sport as opposed to other sports. Every minute you're trying to make that car go as fast as you can, and you're also trying to strategize on what you want to do next all at the same time.
Mike, the way I read that thing, just like in football, for example, you got the offense on the field where your defensive coordinator's looking and planning what happens when that team goes back on. Well, here's a guy leading the race. He's driving the race like here's a two-car leading. Right now, while he's trying to figure out how to put down a good lap, he wants something better the next time he stops. So you're always working a little bit ahead.
He's got a 7.4-second lead right now, Rusty Wallace says, over Dale Earnhardt. Here's Glenn Jarrett.
Well, if Harry Gant's got tire problems, then Rusty Wallace is at the complete opposite end of the spectrum. Buddy Parrott, the crew chief, told me that right now the car is as good as it's been all day. That's why he's been able to pull away from everybody. They've worked all race long to get this car through this position. Now it's paying off for him. He says it's absolutely perfect. That's bad news for the rest of the crew.
As in February, it took Wallace more than half the race to get to the lead. Second place.
Bill.
That's what we've seen all day long. We saw Earnhardt's car take off. The longer he runs, he falls back. And Elliott just picking up the pace now.
So second place is now Elliott. Let's check the interval back to Elliott, and we'll see over the next 10 laps if he gains or loses ground to Rusty Wallace. We'll give you one more shot at our Polaroid Captiva photo fake-out today. We've had it tough in this contest up, so take a look at this full-service pit stop. Tell us what's wrong with this picture, and you could win a trip to the Daytona 500 and dinner with Aaron Tippin. Welcome back to the North Carolina Motor Speedway. Along with Buddy Baker and Neil Bonnet, I'm Mike Joy. Glenn Jarrett and Ralph Shaheen are in the pits today. Randy Pemberton recovering from back surgery. We hope he's back with us next week at Phoenix. Here is Jimmy Spencer, and Spencer has dropped now 3 laps down, and he almost got into a little fracas here.
Wow, he's underneath Dave Marcus here. He decides, you know, they did something at Indianapolis to keep you from doing that. They put those bumps there. He'd had bumps there. He took about 5 cars out there.
Yeah, that's totally off the racing surface. That's the exit to pit road that they were on. He had to get down all the way off the track.
Darrell Waltrip running up on Kenny Schrader. That's a race for 7th place behind Harry Gant. Mark from Mississippi wants to know why all those Goodyear tires now have yellow letters on them. I think we answered this earlier in the season. Chairman of the board of Goodyear came to a race, and he said, we want our tires to stand out from everybody else's. They used to have white letters. Now they have yellow ones. Change the color of their trucks, everything.
Good idea, old boy.
I guess.
I'll go along with that. Guess they can paint them whatever color they want to.
Roy from L.A. says, Neil and Buddy, they've got some good drivers today, but not like you guys.
Well, I don't believe that. I think winners are winners, whether it's the first generation, second generation, third generation. I think they're all very talented race car drivers.
That was my cousin. Don't talk bad to him.
You know what I'm fixing to. Okay. Folks, for you guys that would want to know, Harry Gant's tire bill is now $19,000 and growing.
19,000.
I was just told that. $19,000. Now, anybody wants to write in on that, call our guy that calls us, Curly Boy.
And send a check.
That's it.
Well, and they're going to have to put at least 2 more sets on.
That's right. Darrell Waltrip gets past Ken Schrader. That will change 7th place. Gwen from Florida wants to know who gets to pit on the front stretch and who on the back. The fastest 26 cars, assuming that includes the Winston Cup champion, because that team picks first. And even though Alan Kulwicki is no longer with us, his race team still continues as Kulwicki Racing all season long. So the 7 car gets their first pick of pit position. And then the 25 fastest cars pit up front. Everybody else goes to the back, and that was a great concern to Dale Earnhardt, because after first round qualifying, he was 27th. He moved up to 22nd, got to pit on the front side, as did Dale Jarrett. So 26 in the front and the rest in the back.
You know, that $20,000 worth of tires right there. Why don't we get one of the pit guys to go up to Leo Jackson and remind him, say, you know, Gant's requesting more tires, and he's already used $20,000 worth of it, and see what Leo has to say about that.
Well, If you're going to run race strategy, you best not bring your wallet and think about that.
Yeah, never let money enter into how you race. Here comes the 6 car down pit road.
Schrader's already in for tires.
You know, I think this is a play off what we saw earlier, how much the new tires picked everybody up. The guys that stretched it out a while ago lost 8 and 10 seconds, so maybe these guys are going to come in early.
I think this is early, Neil. This is only about 65 laps for most of these teams.
So there's Mark Martin, and somebody believes it. I don't think both of them would have trouble this early. Maybe they found that they lose a lot of time on old tires.
Is that brake smoke from the right front?
Yeah, a lot of brake smoke. That's where you come in there hot down pit road. That's just the smoke off the brakes.
20.6 seconds for Mark, and it's only been 60 laps since they were in. So at that rate, they'll be in one more time at least.
And there's Kyle Petty turning down pit road as we see the 6 car going up on the back straightaway.
So Petty pits, and the rest of the leaders won't be able to wait long. Not with Schrader on fresh rubber and Martin.
Mike, I tell you what's bad about being the leader in a situation like this. It's a 33 car. If he were to come in now, and he goes out there and he stops, he gets tires, and a caution comes out, he goes a lap down. So he's got to be careful.
Jim Long is one of the over-the-wall guys on Kyle Petty's team as they complete their stop, and we asked him how he got started in Winston Cup racing.
That's, I come down here in Toledo. I got me a 2-year engineering degree, pretty much to fall back on in case I didn't make it down here. When I come down here, I started from scratch, started on some independent teams. DK, I worked with DK, and then Robin and Gary Nelson gave me my first break at Dygar.
Green flag pit stops continue. You're in the pit of Dale Jarrett here at Rockingham. There'll be at least one more pit stop. We've had 3 in a row under green. 19.9 for Glenn Jarrett. Rick Mass in the Skoll Ford of Richard Jackson also making a stop. Jeff Bodine coming off pit lane through a bit of speedy drive from one of the earlier cautions. We've been caution-free since lap 316. And that was a caution stop, excuse me. Left rear tire set 10, car 18. And no sign of any tire rub. You'd see a real shiny spot all the way around if that tire had been rubbing on the outside, Ed.
They're right about one thing, the yellow shine. I noticed the good
Still rubbing right there. Well, when they put the new tire, what it does, they put a new tire on it, it grinds off the area that's rubbing, and it goes away, I guess.
Might be rubbing on the inside edge.
Yeah.
But it hasn't slowed down Dale Jarrett. He's stayed on the lead lap all day. Pitting is Bill Elliott. Elliott to pit road as you watch Schrader and Irvin, who both made pit stops pretty much together. They chase down Joe Nemechek and Ted Musgrave up in the Harry Gant crew.
25 and 28 have new tires on, along with 4, so they're ready to check out.
Most drivers retire, they get a grandstand named after him. Harry's going to get a groove named after him.
Yeah. 4th groove Harry.
Yep.
I tell you what, we seen Lake Speed get up in the wall a while ago from running way up high there. You have to really be careful. You knock that wall down.
Great stop for Bill Elliott's team, 18.5 seconds. Looking for win number 1 this year. Ernie Irvin still chasing Kenny Schrader. And this is now at 9th place. Wallace leads, Earnhardt, Gant, and Waltrip. He's going to try to put a lap on Lake Speed, who had been running high enough on this racetrack to knock the wall down.
No, he didn't knock it down. He made a knock in it.
And here you'll see off turn 2, he tried.
See him coming off there? Boy, I'm going to tell you, that didn't look like much of a hit, but it'll knock your head off when you come off over there like that.
Wallace owns a 12-second lead on Earnhardt.
You ever done that, Neil?
Matter of fact, I have. Right here.
3rd place. Mark Martin and Harry Gant.
There's Mark going right on by.
108 laps to go. One more stop.
You know, they got another stop to go, but we've already seen how much time these guys are losing staying on these old tires. Those guys that pitted a while ago, are making up a lot of ground on them right now.
Well, it's interesting, Neil. We came off that last caution with about 180, 190 laps to go. So instead of running 100 miles and then running 80 to finish it up as Rusty Wallace pits, they knocked it in half into 60-lap bites, so you wouldn't overextend those tires. And here is Wallace. He has stretched it further than anybody but Earnhardt.
Now's when that fast pit crew really makes the difference, too.
Harry Gant is stopping.
Oh, they're in pit road. There's Earnhardt in at the same time, so they're playing the same strategies here. All three of them in. This bunch here has been murder on pit road. When that two-car stops, it's over with. He's gone.
Chassis change on Harry Gant's car.
18.78. Number 2, Rusty Wallace.
Earnhardt takes off as Terry Labonte comes in, and now here's Jimmy Spencer to pit road. So Wallace gave up the lead on the pit stop. Wallace 18.3, Earnhardt 19.6 seconds, and Gant 22.1. And you'll see that difference as they get back out onto the racetrack.
They took a little bit of bite out of Earnhardt's car, so he must be pushing a little bit, Neil.
I tell you what it amounts to, just looking across the racetrack about a half a lap. Wallace is about a half a lap ahead.
The other thing you have, you see this corner is in darkness now. That makes that corner a lot different handling-wise than 3 and 4 where you got the sun out on it.
Yeah, I think in that pool there, it should be a lot tighter racetrack than up in 3 and 4. Rusty's car looks like it's on the rail. Lap after lap.
Bobby Labonte comes to pit lane. He is the leading rookie in the race right now. Fourth place. Coming up on Joe Nemechek. 3 wide.
Very good, boys.
Yeah. Yeah, the lap before this, they really got together coming off that corner. Really leaning on each other.
You know, they're real good friends. They'll probably call each other tomorrow morning and say, I believe I had you all day, but I just kind of wanted to run with somebody so I wouldn't have to be out there by myself.
There's Irvin down on the inside of the straightaway. This thing here, it almost questions where the edge is. On new tires, the inside's good. Get them hot, move up the outside, and it goes back and forth. Now, that's like Buddy said, the first and second turn down there is in shade, so they use that thing virtually the same. The track changing all day long.
I was just told that's the 16th set of tires that Harry Gant put on today, and that means everybody else has done the same thing.
Yeah, they're keeping count of Gant, and like you say, he's not any more than anyone else.
Best of Brakes people, Ray Best is showing you this battle from our helicopter-mounted camera high above the speedway. There's Earnhardt coming up. They'll make it a threesome for 4th place.
If you keep in mind that 25 car and the 28 hit it earlier than this, and those new tires let them, get on around. Now Earnhardt's on the pressure tire.
Meanwhile, Rusty Wallace has a 3-second lead on Bill Elliott. Then Mark Martin, then Mitch Battle.
Same grooves that are moving around.
They're not using that Harry Gant line, I can tell you that. They're right on the very bottom of the racetrack. Now they're going to go up and see what happens.
They have a whole lot of choice here with this lap traffic to move up and see what they've got.
Past the factory stores forward to Todd Bodine. And now moving around Jimmy Means.
See Earnhardt getting up under Irvin there. His car flies on new tires. They just can't keep them new.
Right. That's right. Good point. And here's Earnhardt trying Schrader again. 9 cars now on the lead lap. Kyle Petty a lap down.
Neil, if we could come up with some way of keeping tires cool, we could retire tomorrow.
All these drivers would pay us a whole lot of money to do that, I'm telling you. Those things feel so good when you stick that new set of tires on one of these cars. You're out there twisting, cranking, feel like you turn around every lap.
Todd Bodine makes a pit stop, and as we watch Darrell Waltrip, former CRA sprint chap and sometimes Winston Cup driver Brad Knopfsinger was asked about his duties as Waltrip's spotter.
During the week, I work as a fabricator in the shop. At the racetrack, I help Barry and the crew get the car ready for each session, and then clock Darrell in the time sessions and let him know if we need to pick up time in the corners or down the straightaways. Whether we're running all right against the other guys.
.400 laps come up on the board here at Rockingham as you ride with Morgan Shepherd in the Citgo Ford. Here's your top 10. Shepherd back in 13th spot. Kyle Petty in 10th. He's a lap down. Also 1 lap down. Sterling Marlin, Dick Trickle, Morgan Shepherd, Ricky Rudd, Jeff Bodine, Rick Mass, Lake Speed, Derek Cope, and Terry Labonte. 2 laps back, Mike Waltrip and Jimmy Spencer. 3 laps down, Hut Strickland and Bobby Labonte. 4 laps behind are Jeff Gordon and Joe Nemechek. And Todd Bodine is 5 laps back in 26th. Then it's Rick Wilson, Dave Marcus, Jimmy Means, Ted Musgrave, Wally Dallenbach, Bobby Hillen, and Greg Sachs.
Just 100 laps to go.
Yeah. Well, 92.
92. That makes a difference sometimes.
This track is a little over a mile. NASCAR measures every track. We had a couple calls on this. 15 feet down from the outside wall. So Harry Gant will run 500 miles, and the rest of the guys will run less.
485.
Yeah. Not much less.
This guy's running a good race right here. They had a good pit stop a while ago, and the car's performing well, and I don't think he's losing very much ground to that 2 car.
See the little red dot at the top of the windshield? Somebody from Georgia called in and asked what that was. It means you passed NASCAR inspection and you can go out on the track and practice.
And you can't get on the racetrack without it. You can pull out there 400 times. If you don't have that little mark on there, you won't get out.
One week it might be blue, one week it might be green, and then it'll have the initial on there of who inspected it.
Rusty Wallace moves around the 2 rookies. Bobby Labonte in 22 and Jeff Gordon in 24. They are separated by a lap. Labonte is ahead. And Wallace rolls on at lap 403. Here's Hut Strickland on pit road. Bill Elliott in second, and Wallace is extending his lead.
You sure Rusty didn't make that commercial? He's kind of doing that to this Speedway today, you know.
Yes. Blowing it up. Also, it's getting kind of cool out there with the sun going behind the cloud. You see the track is all pretty much shaded right now as you look at cars out of the race. 8 wins this year for Rusty Wallace. And it started right here in February.
You know, I think the pit crew getting him out every time as fast as they do, that just, it generates a lot of adrenaline in the driver. If they do that kind of work for him, then he feels like he's really got to break his tail for them.
Yeah, and in the same hand, if you're leading the race and you go in, you come out running 7th, it's a negative effect. The driver's saying, man, I'm doing my side, just slacking off.
Now let's talk about bonus points. Rusty's already got 5 for leading a lap. Harry Gantz led 139 laps today. If Wallace leads 40 of the next 92, he'll take home 5 more bonus points for leading the most laps today. No, you have not tuned into the 4-letter network. This is a brief interlude.
Pretty
sweet
nice.
shot.
Look like one of your swings, Neil.
Because racing's the only sport on TNN. Well, that and fishing. And TNN Outdoors.
check this out, guys. They're rubbing a rabbit's foot there in Gant.
They better rub that next set of tires they're going to put on this car.
I'll tell you what, the only foot that matters is the one that's on the end of Harry's leg right there. And he's mashing, I promise you.
He's 18 seconds behind the race leader. And let me correct that this battle is for position. Jeff Gordon and Bobby Labonte, they just changed spots a moment ago, and now scoring is showing that those two cars are on the same lap, vying for Rookie of the Race honors. You see that Jeff Gordon leads in the Max Race Card rookie points. As they move past Dave Martin. And Mike Waltrip has gone by the two of them. Waltrip is a couple laps ahead of them in 20th place.
The first year, Gordon really just jumped out and took off with the rookie deal. And as the season went along, his 22 car, Labonte, I tell you, he's really got a lot more stable in the car, feels comfortable repeating back at tracks, and he picked it up a lot.
Yep.
You got both these guys, they're learning so much right now by being on the racetrack where the car is not working properly. And they're learning a lot about really talking with the crew chief and everything, and that'll help them next year when they come back.
No question, both these rookies have really bright futures ahead of them. Very different backgrounds.
Yeah, you really learn a lot when you get a car and it's lousy. A good one, anybody can drive it. When one's off the pace for whatever the reason, you get in a situation on a slick racetrack, that's when you learn how to drive one of these things. It's not all easy.
Here's your Napa Field standing update, brought to you by Napa because there are no unimportant parts. Watching Bill Elliott and Dale Earnhardt. They are the second and third place cars.
They're fixing to get into a little bit of a battle here, but Rusty Wallace is, as the sun goes down, so is he. He's leaving us.
7.5 seconds is his lead. Let's take a minute and congratulate Steve Meal, the team manager for Mark Martin, in a vote taken among drivers and crew chiefs and against finalists Andy Petrie of Dale Earnhardt's team and Buddy Parrott of Rusty Wallace's team. Steve Meal was named as the NASCAR Crew Chief of the Year.
Yeah,
award presented by Pat Patterson's broadcast group that produces Race Day for TNN.
He deserves the award, but I tell you, they should have given 3 awards this year because every one of those guys have had a period. They dominated racing this year.
That's true. Also honored with the LG DeWitt Lifetime Achievement Award, Barney Hall, Motor Racing Network anchorman, and at least in my book, the best broadcaster in the sport for 30-some years.
And knows everything that's going on and might happen in the next year or two.
That's right.
Well, I mean, he's really on top of the sport.
Yep. Barney is the best.
Here's Elliott and Earnhardt. Yeah, they had an open practice session here at Rockingham. Rusty Wallace came here to test. Earnhardt went to Phoenix. So a little thinking with the different teams on where they want to get their cars going at. But there's Elliott right there.
This racetrack went in the shade. Dale Earnhardt picked it up a step, I think. Now the car is beginning to get to his liking.
And Harry Gadd has climbed the wall again. He's all the way up to the paint. Back in 6th place. Between these two cars and Gant, Mark Martin is 4th. 5th is Ken Schrader, and then Gant. Junior Johnson's cars have won at least one race for 26 consecutive seasons. Last year his car went winless was 1966.
There goes Earnhardt around the outside. Oh, yeah, finally got out there. That didn't look like there's enough room, did it, Neil?
No, that's the deal where Elliott wasn't quite sure if he was out there. And you can't just, Bill can't just roll over and play dead when somebody tries that outside. He's got to keep running. And he wasn't sure if they was, Earnhardt was on the outside of him.
That's where a spotter can only help you so much.
Yeah, that's when you feel them out there. Yeah. When you get to that point there. And that's exactly what happened then. Bill started up. He felt that touch. Gave him the room right there.
They are 8.7 seconds behind Rusty Wallace. Wallace keeps attempting to drive off into the sunset. You didn't see much of Rusty the first half of the race. Kind of languished back in 7th through 10th place. But then came on. Here's Waltrip underneath Ernie Irvin. This would put Irvin back to 8th place if Waltrip can complete the pass. We're told Harry Gant bounced off the wall at turn 4.
Well, I'm surprised. He's been so close all day, and he just barely touched the wall, they said.
Well, he couldn't hit it hard. He's right up against it.
I think it was just like you said about Elliott. He just kept reaching up there, and he touched it and found it. Went on.
Well, they're saying there over the radio that he got into it pretty good. See if we can see any damage. He has got a nice streak job down the right side of it.
Got that Darlington Rockingham stripe.
Harry says, I know where it's at now. I know how far it goes.
All right. Let's not try that again. Morgan Shepherd in the Citgo Ford, 12th place. 1 lap down. Brings it up off the corner.
Oh, me. He ran up on those 2 cars. In fact, the cars in front of him made contact, and he had to just fly up on them all of a sudden.
There's another top race driver who's no kid. Shepherd turned 52 on Friday.
Wait a minute. What do you mean no kid? That's a young guy.
Okay.
It's younger all the time, Mike. You'll find out. Look here. Here's some contact right here. Ooh. Yep.
Almost. Right here, sir.
Threading the needle. Oop, a little bit of contact there with the 17s he went by.
Good heads up for Waltrip there. That could have been nasty. But there's really no hole here.
Here's another shot right here.
Ooh.
Excuse me.
Shot is the right word. Shepherd is the 2nd oldest guy on the track until Wednesday when Dick Trickle turns 52. Harry Gant 53.
Picked up a radio transmission. They said the 28 cars fixed to come in from 4 tires and 1 round the bike.
Well, it's going to be about time. There are 64 laps to run here.
And that seems to be the number they like.
Now from Wallace to Earnhardt in 2nd place, it is dropping. Earnhardt has knocked a second off of Rusty's lead in the last 5 laps. So Ernie Irvin comes in for what should be his final pit stop of the day. Larry McReynolds with that chassis wrench on the left rear of the car.
They made this big plan to stop early like this to try to get that advantage of those new tires. The only time this doesn't pay off is you go out and the caution comes out.
So Irvin is away. He will fall off the lead lap, at least until everyone else pits. When we come back, we'll see what other activity there is up and down pit road as we're starting to move around and get ready for green flag pit stops once again. We'll be right back. Dale Jarrett and Bill Elliott have made pit stops under green as Rusty Wallace rolls on with the lead, but that lead is diminishing. In 8 laps, Dale Earnhardt has knocked 1.5 seconds off of Wallace's lead as Mark Martin comes down pit road. Rolling to a halt, you can see the clouds have completely blocked the sun now, and it's kind of turned into Earnhardt sort of racetrack, at least for today.
There's one little bit of bite in the rear of that car.
Harry Gant is in. 20.3 second stop for Mark Martin. Ricky Rudd, the 11th place car, coming to the pits. No chassis change on Gant this time, just tires.
That guy wiping that windshield with that long handle there, that's a very important thing at Rockingham, to be able to see where you're going also.
And here's Rusty.
And here comes Earnhardt. That seems to be the call.
Yep,
the
just like
very
last time. Yep, they pitted together on the same lap last time. Wipe of the windshield, and it'll be 4 tires.
93 pit crew champions there. There's the flying aces there.
You know, they waited until the crewman came around the left rear to put the gas in the car. So he wouldn't have to run around so far around the gas man.
virtually left together.
Rusty, 17.8. Earnhardt, 19.8.
It's a heck of a note when you do 19 and get beat by
Yes.
2.
Yes.
I tell you what, that thing with that 2, it's unbelievable how they crank them out. That second and a half that he had whittled away on the racetrack just went away while they were sitting still.
Neil, I had to wait a half a day to get 4 tires the other day.
Yeah. But they didn't cost you $1,200 set, did they?
No.
No, I can promise you that.
Darrell Waltrip and Dick Trickle and Morgan Shepherd make pit stops.
Kenny Schrader coming down pit road now.
Yep, Schrader the leader. Last of the lead cars to pit. Terry Labonte is also in. He's moved up to 9th place prior to pitting. There are 52 laps to go as Schrader makes what he hopes will be his last stop of the day.
It looked to me like the 2 car picked up quite a bit on Dale Earnhardt coming out of the pits on the flat part of the racetrack going up to speed. We're going to get an interval just in a second here.
We'll see how much difference they had before and now.
24.2 for Schrader.
Oh, man. So one crew guys kicking something out of the way. They knew it didn't go just like they wanted it.
So Wallace is back out on top. Tell you one thing about this chase for the championship, nobody's going to give it to anybody. These fellas, nobody runs for points. They just run.
It's back to 8 seconds lead right now. He picked up quite a bit.
Yes. Earnhardt had chopped it down to 6 seconds out on the racetrack. Rusty's crew gave him 2 more.
That was the 2 we saw while they were on the jack stand. Setting up on the jack, so going to have to work away at it again now.
50 laps to go.
Bill Elliott runs in 3rd with Pontiac, Chevrolet, and Ford in that order.
You know, 8 seconds, but what we see here is 1 straightaway. Just about a straightaway's difference.
Bobby Labonte makes a stop.
There's Darrell Waltrip. You know, he fought so hard to get back in the lead lap, but he's getting very close to getting lapped right now.
Now, give a call to Greg Sachs. You see the country time car, what's left of it there, the number 68. He got involved in that fracas very early in the race. Sachs got tangled up in one of the incidents. He and the 90 car, Bobby Hillen. And since then, he's run that car around. He is almost 100 laps back, 33rd. Could have put that car in the garage a long time ago, but he's stuck with it.
I'll tell you, that's not a lot of fun riding one that's that much damage to it. Crew did a good job to get that thing back where he can run like he is now.
And Hillen as well is still running. A few laps ahead of Sachs. Glenn?
Well, guys, we're going to present the Miller Genuine Draft Pit Crew Award to Buddy Parent. Great pit work today, Buddy. That's kept you guys ahead all day.
I'll tell you what, the guys won the picture race yesterday, and it looks like they won it today. I'll tell you what, it's just great guys. The Penske group is unbelievable. The rest is doing a heck of a job out there. I hope we can just hold on for this win, get me this mic out of my mouth. Anyway, thanks a lot. It's great getting something from Miller Career besides that great sponsorship to run that Pontiac thing.
Well, I think that not only did they win the Pit Crew Award, but it's going to win them the race today, guys.
Might just do that, Glenn. 5 laps from now, an important lap comes up for Rusty Wallace. Harry Gant has led 139. Wallace has now led 134. So Rusty's coming up on the 5 more bonus points for leading the most laps today. We'll be right back. At the North Carolina Motor Speedway, 42 laps to run. And Rusty Wallace again sees his lead shrinking. It was 8.1 seconds when they came out of the pits and got back up to speed. It is now 7.1. Moving under Hut Strickland.
Boy, that's Harry Gant in that same shot. Just directly in front of him. Maybe 100 yards in front of the 2 car was Harry Gant.
Gant is now the last car on the lead lap in 6th. There's Darrell Waltrip, who was 7th. They put a lap on Waltrip.
I'm not harping on the racetrack changing, but you notice the cars that couldn't keep up with Harrigan a while ago. That's no longer the truth, and I think the racetrack's the biggest factor right now. I don't think it's whether they put another round or took a round out of the race car right now.
We started the day in full sunshine, and we're going to end this race in a full cloudy condition with the temperature dropping. Last time by was 7.2 seconds first to second place. Earnhardt is eating it away.
Wow.
Not a whole lot of laps left.
They tell me the difference right now is almost 20 degrees in track temperature.
Wow.
That's good and that's bad. The better, cooler air these cars get, the more they make horsepower. This late in the race, they don't need any more horsepower. They'll self-destruct.
And if Harry Gant does not lead this race again, Rusty Wallace gets 10 bonus points, 5 for leading, and now 5 for leading the most laps.
And this time of year, those 5 make a big difference.
Right. If Wallace were to win the race, to take the point lead from Earnhardt, Dale would have to finish 22nd. Not likely at this juncture.
Boy, anything can happen, though. You know, when you had a 300-point lead not long ago, we can all remember it. Now it's down to just a few points. Anything can happen in racing.
Oh, but here they are in front of the 18 of Dale Jarrett. This looks bad. Putting jack stands under. Look, it's a drivetrain under there.
Well, if a mechanic's going to crawl under the car for any reason, they have to put jack stands under it rather than just use the hydraulic jack. But that's good, safe garage practice, and it works here on pit road as well.
Neil, the bad part, they're not hurrying.
Yeah, they said that the rear gearing tore out of the car, so that will require putting it. Well, he's trying to get it moving. All right, here's Rusty doing what he does best right now, to lead this thing.
Let's pan back and find Dale Earnhardt in the picture. Wallace goes off into turn 1.
I need my binoculars to tell.
I was just fixing to say, it might
I think that's him right there in the middle.
Yeah.
There's Earnhardt. Great shots from our Rebestos Brakes helicopter today.
You see Jimmy Spencer making one of his laps back right there. Talk about a hard luck award. Now, he should get it for the day because he has drove his heart out. Just one thing happened in the pits there. He's probably the fastest car on the racetrack, but nobody knows it because he's laps behind now.
That's true.
Well, there's Harry Gant. We see him in that shot right there. Comes Rusty Wallace. He's close to one a lap down. See Gant trying to get under him with like Terry Labonte there. Try to get on the way from Rusty where he don't lose his lap.
Now Labonte is 2 laps down. Gant trying to get past. Bobby Labonte battling for top rookie honors in this race. One of his crewmen is Elton Sawyer, former Busch Grand National driver. We asked Elton what his goals are in this sport.
Well, you know, I'm kind of at a crossroads right now. I'm not 20 years old anymore, I should say that. So I have to make a decision in the next year or so. If I want to, you know, the driving opportunity comes back available and I can progress in that arena, move on to be a future Winston Cup driver, or do I want to take that avenue of being a crew chief and eventually car owner and stuff like that. So I'm kind of at a crossroads right now, but I want to try that driving deal one more time.
At Rockingham, North Carolina, with shade under 30 laps to go, Harry Gant has just been lapped by Rusty Wallace. Gant with the class of the field through the middle distance of this race. There's where the point leaders, the top 5 in points, are in this race right now.
It's hard to believe that these teams are in the contention for this championship can maintain that level of consistency just to be there week in and week out. All the thing it takes to run up front in this division, and the points guys just continue to run up front.
And the gap has stabilized, Neil. It's about 6.9 seconds from Wallace back to Dale Earnhardt in second. Bill Elliott is third. Mark Martin is fourth. Ernie Irvan fifth. All on the lead lap. Harry Gant is 6th, Darrell Waltrip 7th, Kenny Schrader 8th, Kyle Petty 9th, 2 laps down. Morgan Shepherd is 10th, then Dick Trickle, Jeff Bodine, Sterling Marlin, Ricky Rudd, and Terry Labonte 15th. 3 laps back, Lake Speed is 16th. Then Rick Mass, Derek Cope, Michael Waltrip, and Jimmy Spencer. 5 laps down is Jeff Gordon, and 6 laps back, Bobby Labonte, Hut Strickland, and Joe Nemechek. Then it's Todd Bodine, Rick Wilson, Dale Jarrett, Dave Marcus, Ted Musgrave, and Jimmy Means. And finally, Wally Dallenbach and Greg Sachs. Keeps plugging along, and he just went past Bobby Hillin to pick up a spot. Moves up to 32nd.
Every drop counts.
That's right. Out of the race, Jimmy Horton, Brett Bodine, Mike Wallace, Kenny Wallace, also John Andretti, Loy Allen, T.W. Taylor, and Jerry Hill. Ernie Irvin trying to gain on Mark Martin. That'll be for 4th place.
Always something going on.
Both of these cars, the 6 and the 28, were really strong at the first of the race. We've seen them go at each other all day long. That's what turned out 4th place between these 2 cars.
Now we go to Phoenix next week, and that's a mile racetrack, as is Rockingham, but very, very different from here.
Only in 1 mile are they the same. Right. This big high bank racetrack, and that thing out there is flat as a pancake. Good racetrack for these Winston Cup cars. Some of the best racing we've seen. Been at Phoenix. Be good to get back out there.
Now, how will the setup differ as we look at Darrell Waltrip and Kenny Schrader racing for 7th, 1 lap down? How will the setup from Rockingham differ from what you put in the car for Phoenix?
Oh, everything. You spring the car different. You shock it different. Gears different. I mean, this is different as, saying what's the difference between a Martinsville car and a Daytona car. They're just totally different.
Yeah, there was very little shock travel, very little movement in the wheels. That place is so smooth out there. So, I mean, here you're working against a lot of travel in the chassis, up and down, shocks are important. Out there, it's real smooth. It takes a lot of power. The car really get up off the corner.
Want to pass along our condolences to Frank Wilson, the president of the North Carolina Motor Speedway, whose father, John, passed away Saturday in Charlotte. John Wilson was 93, and despite that, Frank has been here all weekend, making arrangements and running the racetrack smoothly. We appreciate his help all this time that we've been here with TNN, and really want to offer our condolences from everybody at TNN to he and his family. Darrell Waltrip and Kenny Schrader running 7th and 8th. They're on a lap with Harry Gant as Wally Dallenbach takes the Keystone Beer Ford to the garage. Dallenbach is 31st in this race, and there are little enough laps left that he will not lose that position.
I used to say when I come to Rockingham, if you're going to break in the first 15 laps, don't let me run all day and then break.
Well, this thing right here, this 2 car, right around the bottom of the racetrack.
Mike, I think Dale's closing the gap every lap.
He is, buddy. It's down to 5.6 seconds now with 18 laps to go. Ralph?
Beginning of the show, Rusty Wallace pointed out that he decided to bring chassis named Midnight here to Rockingham this weekend because the feel of the car felt really good to him. And Neil, my question to you is, how does a driver figure out a good feel? What does he look for? And how important is that in a race?
Ralph, I'll tell you what, he said he's won 6 races with this car all year long. What that amounts to is when he goes on the racetrack, he knows just from a few laps on the track what that car likes. If it likes a little more sway bar, maybe that car likes a little more right front spring. Each car has a different characteristics, and he's got a good feel for this car, and they're able to dial it in. A lot of people would question, why did you win the first race with 1 car and come back with a 2nd car? I guess he's answering that question right here.
Well, you said he tested here, and I guess they brought both cars, and he seemed to like the feel of this one better.
It's like an old pair of bedroom slippers. If they're good, you hate to break in a new set. He likes this car, you know.
Yeah. Oh, look here, 28 car down on the apron. Ooh, got tagged in the rear.
Didn't see by whom.
Couldn't tell, but he went down all the way off the racetrack.
Well, trying to stay out of the way of the leaders.
And it was directly in front of the leader right there, too.
Irvin may be trying to hold off Harry Gant for position now. I believe Gant has gone past Irvin, and that spot will count for 5th place.
Down to 4.5 seconds, but a lot of that had to do with that maneuver right there. Those cars got sideways in front of Rusty Wallace. He had to check up a little bit. But I'm sure Rusty knows his interval. He knows how many laps are left, and you can give up a little bit each lap. He's got enough time to play with it a little bit.
And there are a lot of lapped cars between he and Earnhardt. There's Wallace.
Oh, he's loose.
Yeah, he's loose.
Just a bit loose. Here's this deal in front of him. Looked like Arnie just got in there hot, maybe.
I wonder if Huck got into him trying to...
I don't think anybody touched him. It just looked like the back got away from him.
I think you're right. But now here's Wallace.
We saw him get loose as he went down that corner a while ago. Looked like the car was okay that lap.
Earnhardt is closing in, but there is a lot of traffic between the two drivers. We'll show you that. Harry Gant right behind Rusty. 5th place, a lap down, and Harry did go past Ernie Irvin for that position. There you see Gant, Elliott.
See how much interval change here. I noticed the last lap, 3 car got hung up in traffic a little bit.
I think Rusty's developed a looseness in that race car right now, and he's tiptoeing a little bit. He's dropping off just a bit.
That was Gant, Lake Speed, and Terry Labonte immediately behind the leader. Then Ernie Irvin, Hut Strickland, and then Earnhardt. Bill Elliott still in 3rd, Mark Martin in 4th. They are on the lead lap. 10 to go.
You know, if Harry gets up there, he's got to just let him go right on, get back in the lead lap, because it's, you know, too dangerous to race anybody at this point. Now, he's only concerned with the 3 car.
Yeah, 4.4 seconds, Neil.
Yeah, 4.4, but that's almost a full straightaway. And Rusty can look in that mirror and he can take a check on Earnhardt, see where he's at. I don't think he's going to take any chances right here this close.
Here's the interval, 4.3. Wallace has won 8 times this year, 3 of them on super speedways.
I think both of them are running virtually the same speed. The traffic is dictating the pace. Who leads, who's got a little bit of lead on the other guy, or closing it up. Traffic is really dishing it out right now. Who goes where?
Going to come up and put a lap on Mark Martin as you watch Buddy Parrott calling lap times to Rusty Wallace. And Andy Petrie and crew in the Dale Earnhardt pit.
But I believe he's going to do just like you said. He's going to let Gant go on because he doesn't need to do any racing right now. He just needs to. He knows how much time he's got. He can give Earnhardt a little bit each lap, as long as he's got some left for the end.
Last week, Earnhardt gained 10 points on Wallace. If they finish 1-2, Wallace will gain 10 points on Dale. 3.2 seconds. 7 laps to go.
Better not get too conservative. You know Earnhardt with 4 or 5 laps to go.
Here comes Gant. He's going to get back on the lead lap.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think they just told Rusty the interval, and he might step it up again. There's Earnhardt right there.
Boy, you can really see it there.
3 seconds. 6 laps. Not a lot of time to make up 3 seconds.
Yeah, but one bad corner, that car right there would get sideways, that interval goes to 0.
Now, Harry Gant is not only trying to get back on the lead lap, he's trying to pass Mark Martin for position.
Oh, they just got together off that corner.
Yep, that's 4th place Gant's running for. 2.5 seconds, first to second.
Yeah, Gant's racing for position right there. Rusty's kind of in a box right now. The question is the box big enough to make it to the end?
Here's Gant coming up on the Valvoline 4 to Mark Martin. 4th place.
Best thing happened for Rusty here is Gant go ahead and make that pass so these guys won't race so hard and he can go with them.
And that's what's happening. Earnhardt is 1.6 seconds back, but there are 3 lapped cars between he and Rusty Wallace.
Yeah, and he just got caught on one.
Yep.
Earnhardt got caught on one, come off turn 2 and had to roll out the throttle. Lost, looked like about a second there.
And Rusty moves past Mark Martin. Martin's a lap down. Earnhardt is coming.
I mean he's coming.
3 laps to go.
As he...
Woo. That one little bit of traffic right back there really made a difference, where he had a big gap on him there.
But between he and the leader are Mark Martin, Terry Labonte, and Lake Speed.
Yeah, but the ones in front of him, a lot of these guys are the ones that go to the top of the racetrack. They shouldn't be in the way. The way they run their pattern, they might not be in the way, but time-wise, Rusty's got it on his side with his laps to go.
And there are only 2.
And
2 laps to go.
And then there was 2.
Yeah.
9 races in a year. My goodness.
In 50 laps, Earnhardt has knocked 6.5 seconds off of Rusty Wallace's lead. And in just 16 laps, he took 4 seconds away. White flag for Rusty Wallace. He started his streak in February here at Rockingham, winning his first race of the season. And since the June race at Pocono, he has finished on the lead lap every single race.
Boys, I can't wait to get out there to Arizona. I'm going to tell you, this is going to be a shootout right to the last.
That's 1 week from today. For the 9th time this season, Rusty Wallace and the Miller Genuine Draft Pontiac take the checkered flag. 30th career victory for Wallace. Wallace has finished ahead of Dale Earnhardt in 16 of the 28 races, including 8 of the last 9. Wallace once trailed by 345 points after the Pepsi 400 at Daytona. And now, Rusty will leave Rockingham trailing Earnhardt by 72 points. He lost 10 points at Charlotte. He gained 10 here today, and here is Rusty Wallace in tribute to Winston Cup champion Alan Kulwicki. I get a little broken up each time I see this. The Kulwicki victory lap. Wallace waiting for the rest of the field to come to pit lane and clear the track.
You know why it touches you. It means so much to everyone.
It does. Drops the window net.
Waiting on the 28 flag. Here guys bringing it out.
Yep. And there's the flag to salute Davey Allison as well. As you probably know, when Alan Kulwicki won his first Winston Cup race at Phoenix, he had plotted for a long time to do something the fans would remember him by. He called it the Polish victory lap. We call it the Kulwicki victory lap. The driver's side of the car toward the grandstand. Folks get a chance to see the man who's labored so hard here for 500 miles to win this race. As Rusty Wallace takes a lap of victory, saluting Alan Kulwicki and Davey Allen.
You know, guys, that's one reason I'm so proud to be a part of this family right here.
You know, a guy wins the race instead of patting himself on the back. He's remember some guys that not win so well.
Every time this season he has won. Wallace has taken a Kulwicki lap, and of late he and Dale Earnhardt, other drivers as well, have saluted Davey Allen. It's been an exciting but tragic year in Winston Cup racing. The show must go on. And he gets a big response from the fans, few of whom have left the grandstand. And now Wallace will make a hard right turn and head toward victory lane for the 9th time this year. Here's Ralph Shaheen.
Dale, I hear you had a bit of a problem on those last few laps. You were charging so hard, but what was wrong?
Well, we had a flat tire. The right front was going down the last 10 laps. It was getting slower and slower. And just had to do the best we could do. And I don't know whether I'd have caught him or not, but I was giving it all I had. And even till, just the last lap, it got to where I couldn't drive it. I was going hard as I could.
Now, you had an opportunity to go out and test already out in Phoenix. Do you think you found anything to maybe tighten this points chase back up?
Well, I think it's going to be as tight a race as it's been from, I think it's going to go down to the last race. It's going to be one and two. Me and him are going to be racing for it.
Now, let's go over to Victory Lane and Glenn Jarrett.
Well, Ralph, we're waiting on Rusty Wallace to get here with his victory lap in tribute to Alan Kowicki. He is just now getting the Miller Genuine Draft Pontiac up the ramp into Victory Lane. The crews here, they're all celebrating. They've got a lot of Miller Genuine Draft that they're celebrating with here. Rusty is here. They're pulling the car up just a little closer. We'll get to him right away. We can get through the crowd here.
Good luck there, Glenn.
Rusty's accepting congratulations from everybody here.
Glenn, they've had a lot to celebrate this weekend, winning the double, the Pit Crew Championship and today's race.
Well, I agree, Mike. The Pit Crew Championship, today's race, the Miller Genuine Draft Pit Crew of the Race Award, Western Auto Mechanic of the Race for Buddy Parrott. That's everybody. Okay, Glenn, Rusty, first of all, you had them covered the last half of that race.
Well, it took us a while to get the tire pressures right and the stagger right and all that type of stuff. I was real tight at the beginning of the race, sliding the front wheels a lot, but the guys worked on it. We kept communicating through the radio, and Roger Penske kept trying me different lines, and in early, out early. It just really worked out good. We finally got it took us 300 laps to get the thing right, but we got it right, and doggone it, Earnhardt's right on my bumper again, I'll tell you. The guy's, he's tough, no doubt about it. He's making it hard for me.
So later on in the race there, as it got cooler, it looked like Earnhardt was able to make up a little bit of the distance then.
Yeah, a little bit. He was a little bit stronger than I was right there at the very end, although I was trying to be a little conservative, too, not waste what I had. If we had to really duke it out, it'd have been a real shooting match. But I just like to thank my entire crew. I got a real fast crew. They won the World Championship yesterday. Miller Genuine Draft, Pontiac, AC, Mobile, and Mr. Penske and his entire Penske leasing group and everybody.
Congratulations to Rusty Wallace. He dominated racing at Rock this year.
Won both ends of it, February.
Harry Gant was obviously one of the strongest drivers all afternoon, but you never seemed to get a set of tires that really made you happy. What was wrong with the tires?
Well, we just we couldn't get the air pressure. I think we got one set of just wouldn't hold anything. After I had the long lead, we come in. We lost a lot of time to the other cars on our pit stops, but then it just didn't run real good after that. But we tried to adjust back and never could ever get back to what we had. Towards the end, next to the last pit stop, we were the closest we'd been, and the car worked really good up high in the first part of the race. I mean, it was comfortable, and it's strong. And I think I might have broke a couple valve springs towards the end because running that high line, you turn a lot of RPM. I was real tickled and pleased with it. I couldn't believe that, Rusty and Dale come back and run that strong at the end, but, you're going away a little bit. You can't really tell how much it's hurting you.
They call him Handsome Harry, but maybe they should make it Rim Riding Harry Gant.
Well, we call him High Groove Harry up here, Ralph. He's led 1,200 laps here, but he wants to get right there, Victory Lane, and he's not been there yet. Rusty Wallace has twice this year doing the Rockingham double. We'll be back with more from the Rock on TNN after this. TNN Motorsports exclusive coverage of the AC-Delco 500 has been brought to you by Haviland Formula 3 Motor Oil. Add more life to your car. And by AC-Delco. It's like buying time. Packed house here at Rockingham. Sears Craftsman Tools. A line of 1,600 hand tools made in America, guaranteed forever. Present this update on the Winston Cup points. 72 is how much Earnhardt leads Rusty by going to Phoenix. Mark Martin, 360 back, still mathematically in it. Dale Jarrett, Morgan Shepherd, Kenny Schrader is 6th. Kyle Petty, Ernie Irvin, Bill Elliott, and Ricky Rudd, the top 10. Here's Ralph.
Well, we have Bill Elliott just come out of the trailer. Bill, this is one of the best runs we've seen out of this team all year. Have you guys turned the corner, and what'd you do?
Well, I don't think it's one of the best runs. I mean, we've run pretty good off and on all year long. We've just not been consistent. It seems like the second half of the season, these guys have really got things kind of turned around and going in the right direction. And, today we were good, but we were just not good enough to beat the other two cars. With Rusty and Dale's, it seems like with Rusty's domination this year, there's no stopping him. I mean, it just goes to prove that. I mean, we ran good all day long, and we didn't have the thing for us.
Glenn?
Standing by with Mark Martin. Mark, a pretty good run today, but tell me, is it frustrating to run that long and still not wind up in the top 2 or 3?
Well, I thought we were going to, but you know, the car would run good part of the time, and part of the time it ran bad. And so then when it run good again, we'd have to make up what we'd lost, and we wound up back a little bit from where we thought we might be able to run. It's a good run for the Valvoline team. We'll take a fit. Have to have a few of those once in a while, you know.
Track cooling off affect your car late in the race?
I just couldn't run with them anymore. I don't know why. You know, I don't know why. I could keep up with them and outrun a bunch of them for a while, and it just went away.
But all in all, a good day for Mark Martin. Mike?
Thanks, Glenn. We'll have more from the North Carolina Motor Speedway right after this. Hello to Guam. They have cable in Guam? It's a long cable from here to get the TNN. Off satellite, I hope. Here's the way they finished today. Rusty Wallace, the winner. Dale Earnhardt second. Bill Elliott, Harry Gannon, Mark Martin, the top 5. 6 through 10, Ernie Irvin, Darrell Waltrip, Kenny Schrader, Dick Trickle, and Jeff Bodine. Morgan Shepherd 11th, and Sterling Marlin, Kyle Petty, Ricky Rudd, and Terry Labonte 15. Lake Speed, Rick Mass, Michael Waltrip, Derek Cope, and Jimmy Spencer 20th. 21st was Jeff Gordon, then Bobby Labonte, Joe Nemechek, all 3 rookies, Hut Strickland, and rookie Todd Bodine. 25th. Then Rick Wilson, Dave Marcus, Ted Musgrave, Jimmy Means, and Dale Jarrett 30th. Followed by Wally Dallenbach, Greg Sachs, Bobby Hillen, Jimmy Horton, and Brett Bodine 35th. Mike Wallace, Kenny Wallace, Jerry Hill, John Andretti, T.W. Taylor, and the first car out of the race was Loy Allen Jr. Here's Ralph.
One of the best runs of the day was Jimmy Spencer and the Meineke crew. Boy, the car was so stout early on, but you end up with a frustrating 20th place finish. What went wrong?
I don't know, something happened on the pit stop, you know. It's a real bad deal. I think something, the air gun broke or rounded off some lug nuts. You know, I really thought I could have won this race, and my car was strong all day. I burnt my tires up there one time trying to get my lap back off of Rusty. Then I did make one lap back up, but I drove as hard as I ever did and finished 20. That's just a very disappointing day.
What do you think of the potential of this team now? There's a lot of talk about the future of you and this team. What does this effort show?
You know, I don't know. It's just this team's a hell of a race team, and good cars, good motors, good combination, you know, and it's a bad deal because every time we think we can't show our talents, something happens like that, and maybe we can get that all behind us next week at Phoenix and win the race. I don't know.
They have 2 left to try to get one, Mike.
Got to be tough to accept a 20th place finish when you're used to winning, as Jimmy Spencer is. Next Sunday, the Slick 5500 is live at 2 p.m. Eastern Time here on TNN. Boy, one of those fellas runs good, the other runs good. And next week, we're going to show you our predictions for back in February on who would win the Winston Cup and kind of follow up and see who had the clear crystal ball and whose was a little hazy. But should be a barn burner in Phoenix.
See, they're already burning stuff.
Oh, boy. Baker gets in the last punt of the day, as usual.
There's my truck.
Leaving?
No, I'm fixing to get in it.
For Neil Bonnet, Buddy Baker, Glenn Jarrett, and Ralph Sheheen, I'm Mike Joy, congratulating Rusty Wallace, who picks up his 9th win of the season, 30th of his career, and does the Rockingham double, February and October. A Winston Cup winner here at the Rock. Telecast presented by Diamond P Sports. For the NASCAR Network, that is the Nashville Network. See you in Phoenix.